their homeland.
The last year has seen a series of arson attacks in Ukraine carried out by Ukrainian citizens. Many are thought to be paid by Russian agents, but some may be motivated by something else. Ukrainian officials say Russia is increasingly targeting the relatives of prisoners of war for recruitment as saboteurs. Suspected Russian operatives often promise the family members their loved ones will be released early in return, but if they refuse, they can be threatened with the torture or execution of their imprisoned relatives. In a statement, Russia denied using prisoners as leverage.
The BBC's Will Vernon. Rescuers have sent a cage-like structure into one of South Africa's deepest gold mines to bring out survivors among hundreds of miners working illegally in an abandoned mine shaft. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Supreme Court rejects Utah's attempt to reclaim public lands from the federal government.
Utah argues local control would be more responsive and allow access to revenue from taxes and development projects. Federal agencies control about 70% of Utah's land. The complaint sought control of about half of that, which still amounts to an area nearly as large as South Carolina. The parcels are used for things like energy production, grazing, mining, and recreation. Utah's world-famous national parks and national monuments would have stayed in federal hands. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Blue Origin will try again to launch its massive new rocket as early as Thursday after calling off the debut launch because of ice buildup in critical plumbing. The New Glenn rocket was supposed to blast off before dawn yesterday with a prototype satellite from Cape Canaveral in Florida. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy chilly Tuesday.
Oh boy, it is a cold one today.
It is.
I'm never more reminded than on a day like today, just how hot of a. I don't mean like attractive. I mean like how much heat I give off. You know what I'm saying? Like I give off a lot of steam heat because that window was fine when I got in the car this morning. By the time I got here, boy, I was doing a lot of this stuff.
A lot of
buffing.
Fogging.
Yep.
Maybe crack a window. Maybe.
No. That's the thing I do.
Oh, and that doesn't do it.
It does a little bit. It does enough. I get here alive. You know.
Or just go old school Ace Ventura with the whole head out the window.
Yeah, but then I got the internal windshields too. I got to worry about.
Of course, I wish your car wasn't taller because your car would be the perfect vehicle to have a sunroof and just stick your head out the top and drive. Unfortunately, the roof is too tall for that.
My a buddy of mine drives a I think it's a Mercedes, and it's one of those very compact cloth top convertibles. Looks really, really sporty in the summertime, but in the wintertime looks kind of goofy. You feel like you get the little head bump right about here.
He is at the top capacity. Mm-hmm. Oh, see, I would be so tempted. Just a little slick.
Just put a couple books under your keister and
you could call it
up.
the car yak, like kayak, but he called it car yak.
Totally really ups the value too.
It does.
It really does.
And you get protein with the bugs as you go down the highway. Right? It's a win-win. But I think that was a beetle.
That was like my favorite scene of Me, Myself, and Irene. Catch an awful lot of bugs out here.
Yeah.
He's right on.
Yeah. Actually, there's multiple Jim Carrey bug driving because Dumb and Dumber on the
That's right,
on the
that's
scooter.
there too. That's like one of those like pro, like when you're like a face actor, or you're like a physical actor.
Yeah.
If you can master the art of catching a bug in your throat.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of the criteria.
I watched a show last night.
Yeah.
And it's on TLC.
Okay.
It's a new one of the TLC shows.
Because that used to be called the Learning Channel.
Yeah.
They had to change it to TLC because, like KFC,
Yeah.
it was very much no longer the thing
Well,
it
I'm
stood
learning
for.
things. I don't know if it's the things I want to be learning.
That's what we call an alternative education.
Yeah. But they had a show that was on interesting, and it was neat to see the perspective. But I ain't going to lie. They put this show out there so you giggle.
Of course.
Because that's what it is. But I don't know if you've seen this person. She's kind of got a little notoriety, but it's this young girl in her early 20s
Okay.
that has Tourette syndrome.
Okay.
She's got a lot of social, like you've seen a lot of her clips on YouTube or whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Her having her episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, TLC, now there's a show about her. She lives in West Virginia. And she's so they started one of their shows, like I Am Jazz or any of the My 600-Pound Wife or whatever they got going on there.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those, and her name's like Chantel or something like that.
Okay,
I might be mispronouncing it. It's something with an S, sham something. But anyway,
some kind of sham.
But anyway, so the story's basically following the family, and so she's. And so basically they're picking up where they talk about her life with Tourette's and how she's dealing with it. She has a boyfriend that's in the U.S. Air Force.
Okay.
And so her goal is to live independent. She can't live.
Bailing out loud?
Yeah, that's it. What is it called?
Bailing out loud.
Oh, Balin. Where'd I get ShamWow?
I'm not sure.
I don't know where I got that from. Sorry.
It says Bailing Out Loud follows the
true.
journey of Balin Dupree, a young woman living with an extreme case of Tourette syndrome.
Yeah, okay. That's the one.
So, I mean, the question has to be asked, what is her tick?
Oh, she's extreme.
Does she have all of them?
She has multiple ticks.
Does she? Okay. So
like she's got like Tourette's on top of some other thing where she also gets where she has the ticks and she has to do things in 3. It's like an OCD thing.
Okay.
But she also gets like these like cramps where she like she went bowling.
Okay.
And when she gets nervous and stuff, like one of the ticks is her foot just like seizes up and cramps up. And sometimes it can last us 45 minutes. And so
wow. That's
also a condition that she has too, on top of the Tourette's, the part you
right.
talk about. And it's kind of, so it's her, but she gets destructive. Like she has to have, like she can't go to the grocery store because she has to like touch the squishy things and she ends up destroying all 7.
Right.
You know, that's what goes on with her. And so she's trying to cope with that life.
That's a lot.
But she has a lot of brothers and sisters. So it's like this whole family. So that's really the family and how they're dealing with her.
Right.
How she's trying to deal with life and how, so it's an interesting show to watch. But I mean, there is this factor where, you know, she, and her Tourette's is Tourette's. She says it all. And some they bleep, some they don't. And I ain't going to lie. And then they do it too. They start cracking up laughing because some things she says is just
right.
It's just downright funny.
Okay, now look. Pretty much everything that comes from TLC these days feels so just straight up exploitative.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this is, exploitive, whatever you call it. That's what this is too, very much.
But it is interesting to see, to peel back and see what her life is like and what it's so from that I am enjoying it, but yes, it is
you feel like you need a shower after you watch something.
But part of me says if this woman's getting paid and this is going to set her free to do that, then I'm cool with it.
But because there's that the producers were like really, really lean
Well,
in.
see, but here's the thing. I was thinking that too, but unfortunately, I think you don't have to, because what triggers all this is stress and anxiety and nervousness and all that. And I watched the first episode.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she's having cameras follow her. I mean, it's her whole life. I'm pretty sure they don't need to ramp it up. I think it's already the environment of her filming a show and doing all that is enhancing whatever. So, yeah, you're right. I'd like to see her in the world without the cameras and stuff. I don't think she's nearly as extreme.
Right.
But I think the show in and of itself
is the trigger. Is the trigger that causes her.
So
and that makes a lot of sense, too. But I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious.
But it was an interesting show, and it's worth a check out. It was, if you look at it, now, if you're looking at it to giggle, and you're going to, I mean, okay, you do you. But I'm just saying, if you get past that, it's actually an interesting show.
It's just, you look at people like that, you're like, God, you would be a lot to date. Like, you would be just a lot to deal with.
And that's why I say watch it, because it really addresses some of that, because she's dating this guy that's in the Air Force.
Well, that makes sense. He gets to leave for 6 months at a time.
Well, and that's the thing. That's where the drama is, and the story is that he's got orders. Mm-hmm. That means he's got to leave.
Right.
And the only way she can go with him is dun. But can she be?
He'll have to, but then they'll have to have 3 weddings.
Well, the problem also is that he's a military member. If he gets deployed, she's going to be by herself a lot.
Yeah.
And after watching this first episode, she cannot be by herself.
Well, I'm sure she would have.
She can't cook. She can't go in the kitchen, or she'd burn herself. She starts. That kitchen's a trigger area. She really is.
And I'm sure that in those situations they would have somebody either hired or a family friend who would come and help out.
Yeah, it's much more than she flips cuss words out in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It's much bigger than that. It's bigger than that. So, let me get the rundown and get our show going. Yes. We're gonna have actually we got a full slate for you today. We got a busy show today. Mm-hmm. Here in just a few minutes, we're gonna have Chantel Longway and Daryl Johnson join us. They're with the Drought Contingency Task Force.
I think I know where you got Chantel from.
Huh?
I think earlier you were talking about Chantel, the name of the show. There you go.
That may be.
There's the connection.
That's what it was. Maybe. But they're with the Drought Contingency Task Force, which is a committee part of the city, and there's a water conservation campaign they want to talk to the public about, and this is stuff they've been working on. So they're going to join us and explain, kind of tell us a little bit more about that. In the 8 o'clock hour, right about 5 after 8, as soon as we get the hour going, Chavez County Manager Bill Williams is going to join us for just for about 10, 15 minutes. As many of you may have heard already, State Representative Jared Hembry has stepped down from due to some family. I don't know if it's family or health. I'm not sure the whole deal there, but he had to step down. That means we got to get a replacement in. So the Chavez County Commission, they have a process where they do this. So Bill Williams is going to come on this morning and talk about that with us here for a few. Also in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have Dr. Sean Powell join us with Eastern New Mexico University. Roswell give their update as they're gearing up for the
spring semester.
I know I don't feel like saying spring semester, but it is spring semester. Ain't nothing spring about this morning, but for the spring semester here. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Lauren Dickinson with the Roswell Refuge join us, give us an update what they've got going on there. Plus, we'll have all of your features, including the newses of local, national variety, and all that good stuff, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty nice for the next couple of days. It will stay cool. We have high pressure parked over the Four Corners. Sunshine today. Upper 40s to about 50 on the high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds drifting through, and chilly will be in the upper 20s. And then we're in the upper 40s for the high on Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine. We get a big boost on the daytime highs Thursday, about 60. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 27 degrees here in Roswell. Yeah, it is chilly out. Humidity is at 89%. Winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today, high of 48. So it's a little warmer maybe, or almost 50. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 24. Northwest winds at around 5 miles per hour Wednesday. They say we're going to hit 50 tomorrow. Sunny and a high of 50. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 22. Winds will be calm. Thursday, we're going to be in the mid-50s. Sunny, 56 for a high. Winds out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, hold on to it. We're going to be in the 60s for sunny and 64 on Friday, so enjoy that. It is a short-lived warm spell because Saturday we'll drop down to 55, but then Saturday night we're looking at a 30% chance of rain and snow showers. Overnight, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 22. Excuse me. On Sunday we're looking at a 20% chance of snow, partly cloudy, 35 for a high, and then for Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, 20% chance of snow and a high of 31. So there won't be school, so it'll probably snow. That's my guess. All right, it is 7:19. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get you in your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten, and then we will have the folks from the Drought Contingency Task Force join us here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 2,112 head of cattle sold on Monday on a much higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold 20 to 30 higher, feeder cattle 10 to 20 higher, packer cows and bulls $3 to $5 higher, 3 to 400 pound steers $4.55, $4.95, 3 to 400 pound heifers $3.70, $4.15, 4 to 500 pound steers $3.64, $4.55. 4 to 500 pound heifers $3.10, $3.70, 5 to 600 pound steers $3.05, $3.64, 5 to 600 pound heifers $2.67, $3.12, 6 to 700 pound steers $2.70, $3.05, 6 to 700 pound heifers $2.32, $2.67, 7 to 800 pound steers $2.54, $2.70, 7 to 800 pound heifers $2.10, $2.32, packer cows $1.22, $1.32. Canner and cutter cows 110, 117, packer bulls 140, 153, feeder bulls 120, 130, top half the cow calf pairs $2,250 to $2,600 per pair, top half the bred cows $1,800 to $2,600 per head. Remember, this is the top of the market and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Hey Roswell, Happy New Year! Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're gonna love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're gonna make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most love rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Actually, we got one more coming in. We'll give them just a second here. But Chantel Longway, did I say that correctly?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
good at butchering names, so I don't want to. Daryl Johnson, which I think I got that one.
Yes.
Judy Stubbs also going to join us here in just a few seconds here as well. But you folks are with the with the Water Conservation Task Force. That's the committee that I guess your official name of the committee there.
That's the drought contingency.
Oh, what did I say? Drug?
No, water
Oh,
conservation.
sorry. I was water conservation. All right, is it Monday still? Sorry. Yes, drought contingency. I was afraid I'm going to say drug because about 10 times it started going.
There's
to say
a
drug.
Roswell drought contingency,
Yeah.
and then there's also the water conservation.
Yes.
And we actually partner up and we execute both agendas to come out
Well,
with a good
you have the same
result.
goal. We all share
Yes.
the same water here, so it kind of makes sense.
Good morning.
Judy Stubbs also joining us here in the studio as
Thank
well
you,
this
Mike.
morning. Good morning,
Sorry.
Judy. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good deal. Staying warm?
Actually, yes.
Good. That's easier said than done
Because
right
I
now.
stay inside.
Smart. Well, yeah. So I guess let's kind of start at the beginning before we talk about the campaign here. Just talk a little bit about what the drought contingency. I'm going to get it right the third time. Drought contingency task force. Just talk about its purpose and what it does.
Well, we applied. The city of
Move that
Roswell
up just a little closer to you there.
applied for a Water Smart grant.
Okay.
And so it gave us the funds to start bringing in this program.
Okay.
And since I got hired, we have been stopping leaks.
Okay.
I have a little, what I call is a little eye that hooks onto meters so I can see like moment for moment real time.
So this is more than just committees meetings. You're physically out and fixing the
Well, with the infamous water bill
Okay.
situation, she's become quite popular finding water leaks. Now all of a sudden it has become an important issue.
Sure.
And she is the one that actually goes out, knocks on the door, and if I remember you correctly, Chantel, you said sometimes you walk in and within 30 seconds you already can hear a leak. Or
Gotcha.
It's very common.
So you're the Columbo of leaks.
Sometimes I can't find them. I'm about in about an 80 percentile of finding them pretty quick. So
Well, and this is kind of, and this is looking big picture here. This is, yes, water bill, the water, it was grossly read, and I mean, there was a lot going on there. And so, we had to fix this. And then the fix came, and we're like, well, it kind of went the other way. And we're like, whoa, what's going on? And so this is all part of just how these things work sometimes. And I know some people, and I get it, you get mad, you get a water bill, and you're, whoa, what's going on, and all this. But it's not intentional nefariousness or anything going on here. Some of it is problems that weren't anticipated. Some of it was, well, things were wrong before. This is closer to being right now. And there's a whole lot of that going on here. And so we're it's still getting worked out and getting fixed. But that's really what's going on, is we're trying to get it right. Where it went from one extreme to the other, now we're trying to bring it right in the middle where it's supposed to be.
Right. The water, I think she brought up that we use approximately 138 million gallons a month, and that's what we used in the month of November.
Sure.
And I mean, that's a big load of water. There's 48,000, between 48 and 49,000 people in Roswell, and we service 29 point something acre square miles of people. And there's, I believe, 20,347 accounts. And of those accounts, 18,000 are residential, 2,000 plus are commercial. And that's a lot of accounts. And that's a lot of work for just this one young lady right here out there handling them all. And, keeping our eyes on the water. And there's our aquifer, there's a water level, and it goes down in the summer months, and then it goes back up. But every year, it's significantly getting lower and lower.
Like when it goes back up, it's not going up as much as it did the year before, basically.
So, I mean, droughts have been going on since the early 1900s.
Well, we live in a desert.
We live in a desert, and it's been a problem for many years.
Yeah.
And our slogan is, every drop counts.
Every drop counts.
Well, and we are blessed. We live in a desert, but we're blessed because we with the aquifer, and we have, there's the joke. We have the hardest water in the world, but there's plenty of it. That's kind of the running joke. And then there's the other joke about whiskeys for drinking, waters for fighting, and all that. But that's another story. But that's something we are blessed to. Now, I mean, we look at other parts of the state. You look at Albuquerque, and when the warm weather warms, they're like, don't water this day, do this, and do. We don't want to, get into that micro kind of managing it, at some point. But at the same time, we've got to conserve water. We can't just because we have, at some point, the well will run dry. I mean, hopefully it's not for a long time.
It will run dry if we don't implement a plan.
Well, and I think because there's so much of it, we don't think, we don't ratchet down on some of our conservation
Absolutely.
efforts.
In contrast, we have, your utilities. If there was a time when we didn't insulate, gas was so free, it was so inexpensive that it wasn't a big deal. So we just cranked up the heater. We didn't worry about windows. Efficient windows, insulation. Now, here we are doing the same thing, but with water.
Yeah.
And as we were out there talking, me and Chantel, earlier, Chantel, elaborate on the infrared or...
Oh, hydrodelta.
Okay.
Hydrodelta. I mean, this is an
That
important
sounds
component.
Or military. I don't know.
Forward, I believe.
So the state is working on a program to where they use the satellites to basically find water leaks.
Okay. So it's like infrared for water?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
And so we can get on top of fixing our Band-Aids,
Okay.
throwing them on there while we can, because how can we as a city ask somebody to conserve water if we're not going and doing everything we can?
It's kind of like the weeds thing when you get the weed litter. Like, hey, wait a minute. Water's the same way.
Yes.
So I know they're still investigating that to see how reliable hydrodelta is, but you can go on the state website. It's a really cool video, and it looks like if it works out that could be a promising way to fix things.
Sure. Well, and this is the thing, too. Yes. I mean, at the end game here is we want to make sure we're using the, water efficiently. That's really the whole point. But the side effect is I'm going to take a stab that after a visit from Chantel here, your water bill gets a little cheaper.
Most of the time.
And I'm pretty sure you'd like one of those. So this is what we're talking about.
I've had people come into my office very upset that they had a $500 bill. And I go, you know what? Let's look into it. And I go out there and I find out that the toilet has just been wide open the entire time. People don't realize toilets
It's literally
can
leaving a
cost you a lot
spigot
of-
on 24/7 and it's like having a waterfall in your house.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it does add up, that's and that's really the thing is doing that kind of, and so I'm going to take a stab that if you're having water issues and maybe, obviously, the city will be happy to come down and do their thing, but maybe these are some things you could check yourself, kind of check out and say, hey, your toilet's been leaking. That noise it makes all the time? Sounds like it's filling the tank all the time. It's because it's running water.
I keep dye tablets in my truck so that way I can show people how to check their toilets. 9 times out of 10, it's a toilet or a water softener that got stuck on.
Those are the two major culprits?
The ones that I find here, yes.
Gotcha. Now, if it's something underground, then that's when we have to get the city and more bigger things involved. So, but and that's a possibility too, because let's face it, as everyone else knows, and this is not just Roswell, this is New Mexico and the entire United States. We have an infrastructure issue where all these pipes and things are going out of service right around the same time because they're all put in the ground roughly around the same time.
Right, and you look at how much water you produce, and then you look at how much water you bill for, and then as we were speaking earlier, there's a variance there, and you want to narrow that variance down. You want to make sure what you produce is actually being consumed.
Sure.
Water it brings so many values to us. We depend on the rain, and when we go dry, it's just an ugly. It's the wildlife, the grazing, sanitation. I mean, I can go on forever. The value of water, and it's crazy. It just doesn't seem that important until there's no more, or it's
unfortunately, that's human nature.
Shortage.
Yeah, we don't think about it till it's gone. It's like, what do we do now? Yeah, that's just humans.
But our chairman, Judy, she's done a great job of getting us all together. We've come up with some great plans. We've implemented some grants and stuff, and maybe you'd like to speak about that.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at now, is because like you said, we need to do something here. But so before we talk about it, how does this work as far as like when do you guys come? So basically, you guys come with some of these ideas, and then do you guys present it to city council for them to debate and hash over? Or how does that process work?
Thank you, Mike. We will.
Yes.
At the point that the plan is actually finalized, as far as our group is concerned,
Gotcha.
It will go to city council. And forgive me for being late.
Oh, you're
Sorry.
fine. All good. Good.
But I don't know for sure what you've been saying.
You didn't miss much. We literally
we just started.
Yeah, we just started. I think we said their names. That was about as far as we got.
Thank you. Let me just say something that I've learned through this process, and I think I learned it from actually the state talking with those people. But what we're really talking about is water security.
Gotcha.
And I think that's an important phrase to look at, or 2 words to look at, because that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I'm sure as Chantel and Daryl have talked, I think we need a much more robust kind of monitoring of our water. And that's what this part of this will be, the things that Chantel just spoke about.
Sure.
But I think it's important to note, too, that New Mexico was the first, and I'm not sure if they're still the only state to partner with Google so that they can start looking at some of these things that we're talking about. And I think it's going to be a really positive thing.
Absolutely.
To catch some of this
It's a game
before
changer.
it actually happens.
If it works
Yeah.
like infrared, I've spent a little time in the military. I kind of know some of that. And basically, in essence, if they can, whatever they use, the cameras from the airplane,
satellite.
but it gives you that look like if you put on those night vision goggles and you're like, okay, that color, that means if they could do that with water, I guess I'm going to guess there's a cooling effect or something different. I'm going to assume the water temperature. I don't know how that works. I'm not a scientist, but in essence, that's pretty neat technology that they're able to do. And I got a funny feeling military's already had it, been using it for years, and now it's starting to trickle into the civilian world, which I have no idea. But
well, it's a great concept,
Absolutely.
And as Judy was saying, monitoring is so important. It's just like a quality initiative.
Sure.
Anytime anything you measure and you track and you look at your failures and your successes, you get better at it. And monitoring
absolutely.
it and actually looking at where we're going, what we need to get there, is imperative in this whole plan.
And I think by doing this kind of stuff now and doing this now, this prevents you from having to do the extreme stuff down the road. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't want to get to the point where we're telling people what days they can water and what we don't want to get
what
there.
day you can shower.
Yeah,
right.
we don't want to
get there.
We don't want to get there. And unfortunately, there's places in our state where they're almost maybe not showering, but certainly watering and doing all that kind of stuff. And nothing ticks people off more than telling them what day they can and can't do things like that.
Yes.
So we don't want to get there. So this is the things to do as a community to keeping us from getting there.
Mike, I appreciate the fact Chantel put together several months ago a survey that we generated for the public. Did you talk about that?
No, we haven't. No, we.
So, and it was helpful to us to understand what people know or think or want of their water system. So I think we'll be looking back at that and seeing what people know about water, because I have learned an abundance of process for water, and I think the important thing about the getting to see where the leaks are in the water prior to them busting wide
Sure.
open at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the street.
Well, and I imagine as the technology gets better and things, is they can see the hot spots before they become major hot spots.
Well,
and,
sometimes it takes weeks for a little break to
Sure.
explode to the point where we can find it.
Well, and I'm going to take a stab too. Is like once you patch one break, because depending on the age of some of the pipes and things you're dealing with, it by default.
Oh, you already know. No, you already know.
Give it a couple feet one way or the other. It's probably another weak spot in the pipe that we just now pitched away, and it's going to pop here in a minute too.
And we struggle with. We want to be proactive, but we're more in the reactive state right now than anything.
Well, and that's what we're forced to because of 75 years of these pipes being in the ground, and no one said 20 years ago maybe we should do something about this. That's why we're sitting here today. I mean, in a nutshell.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be a process. It's
Yeah.
going to take time.
So that's what we're saying. Hey, work with us here, please. Now I know we're still in the early stages and the city's got it, but is there a public place right now where people can kind of read some of the what we're talking about as far as this, some of the things we're proposing, or is that
we're
a little
part
early
of the
on
grant,
that?
I believe, is media presentations.
Okay.
We want to initiate billboards.
Gotcha. So it's kind of a marketing campaign.
We have like in motels, the colleges, the libraries, certain areas. We have TV screens already. We want to implement little
catch people while they're going about their daily lives. Sort of thing.
Yes,
yeah.
and see them, where they can see them out at the college or they're in the library or at the motel.
Sitting at the airport or whatever.
And up to and including, I believe we talked about brochures at some of the at the motels as well.
Sure.
And whatever it takes to,
put a couple of the aquatic center too. It's like, hey,
absolutely.
That's good.
Anything else you can think of?
I know right now we're working on a water conservation website through the city.
Oh, yeah.
On there, it'll have like a formula that you can look at to see how much it's costing you to water your grass.
Sure.
Things like that, articles about ways to reduce your water impact.
And I know the simple things that they've been telling you since you're little kids, those work. Don't sit there, while you're brushing your teeth in the morning and having the faucet running the whole time. That does make a difference. It really does, I wasn't in the Navy, but I've got some friends that served some time in the Navy, and if you saw how they live on a boat and water usage,
oh yeah,
you'd have a different appreciation of water. But those little things do, and when you water makes such a big difference. Those folks that are trying to water at noon in July, you're literally wasting every drop of that water. That's
for her to drive down the street and see water running down the street and it's coming from 2 blocks over, those gain her attention, and
they do add up.
She doesn't become so popular at given days, but the mindset of it's my water, I paid for it. That's not a good slogan anymore.
Yeah,
it's more
all of our water.
It is, and it's the conservative thing. We all need to step up, and the conservation part of it. It's a component that we all need to exercise.
And at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that your grandkids and their grandkids have the same great water that you have today. That's all we're trying to do, and keeping it. And to be honest, the residential, but I'm going to take a stab at the commercial side thing too. They're probably going to have to crack down on really some of the practices in some of our commercial, especially when you get into some of the industrial sectors. I know they do already. It's ones that work with water. Dairy industry and things. I know they're doing a lot of recycling of waters and things and repurposing waters for different things, and that's more out in the county. But those things are kind of going on, but we need to encourage businesses to be thinking that way as well too.
Well, I know we have like 23 hotels here. I spent an entire day calling each hotel to see who wanted in on our water conservation campaign.
I feel like there's lots of ways to recycle water in a hotel that they can, water that, I don't know if it's cleaning waters and things like, obviously drinking waters and things like that, but what they use to wash the towels, or how often you wash the towels, or there's ways to kind of, you can spare some gallons doing some simple
and
things.
The right plumbing on your toilets. You have multiple rooms, and you want to make sure each one of them is equipped and efficient.
Yeah, that's a lot of toilet leaks.
Yeah.
You got 50 rooms, that's 50 toilet leaks.
Yes.
And I don't know how many of y'all been to a hotel. There's always at least one thing, like in a hotel room,
So-
the tub drips, or you know what I mean? It's just one little thing.
Well, calling all these hotels, there's some here that don't even have the little card that usually says, "Hey, if you want your towels
Sure,
washed,
yeah.
put it on
You
the
don't
ground."
have to throw them on the, we don't have, you can reuse the towel for a second
Yes.
shower. It's okay.
Imagine
Some
that.
And the goal is to use some of our funds to get something like that for these hotels that don't have it.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, getting that kind of thing. Yeah, I imagine your chains probably, that's part of the package, but your local owned or mom and pop hotels, they don't probably have that kind of merchandise or paper, stuff like that.
Sure.
going on. So absolutely, yeah. But you don't think about it, but yeah, especially in a town like this where we do have a lot of hotels, NIMI and a lot of things going on. There's times of the year, festivals, the various festivals. We've got a whole thing with airplanes coming up that's going to fill up some more hotels here pretty quick. You know what I mean? There's going to be a big
We can
drain
educate
on
on
that.
xeriscape, certain vegetation that is, conducive to this part of the neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Trees that are, we all want to have green yards, but do you need to water them every day? Revisiting things like that.
Yeah.
And up to and including, maybe xeriscape isn't a bad thing, or
Sure.
half and half.
Done
or-
right is very good.
Yes.
And I will tell you this, and I know we're getting a little off topic here, but if you're thinking about xeriscape, talk to, go to the extension office, there's a lot of experts in our area that you could talk to that can tell you true xeriscaping, not just throwing a bunch of rocks down and calling it good.
You can still have trees, you can still have vegetation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's more to that. And God forbid, maybe even a grass or two, just the way you do it and the type of grass you do.
Yes,
There's certain grasses grow very well here, other grasses not so much. I say go visit Roswell Seed. They can help you with that one. But these are the kinds of things we think
You compare
about.
us to like Portales. Portales is, they're in hard times right now with water. We don't want to get there.
No.
We want to stay ahead of it. We want to be proactive and put all of our initiatives and have a nice drought contingency plan and look at our vulnerabilities and address them.
Absolutely. So that's really what's going on here. So we, obviously if you're having, I wouldn't, if especially older homes and you're thinking your water bills, please don't hesitate to call the city. Let's start there. That's your
Correct.
first step is in your own homes. Let's start, if your bill's crazy, don't just complain about it and pay, maybe there is something down there that we can cut
Chances
that bill.
are there is something.
Like if your numbers are like, talk to your neighbors. If your neighbors and your bills aren't jiving and all that, people that have similar size houses and usages as you and they're not jiving, odds are pretty good you probably got some plumbing or some issues that are jacking your bill up.
It's funny you say that, Mike, because a lot of people have actually spoke with their neighbors about their water bills. Well, mine's not that high. Well, something's wrong, and that initiates the.
That's
phone
kind of
calls.
where they find out.
Absolutely. And I think maybe the water bill kind of opened a lot of eyes.
That's the thing too. Is people got mad and I get that, but at the same time, it exposes the need of what we're talking about.
Yes,
here. It's like saying this is what we're trying to tell you. Is it's not been right. We need to get it right.
Yes,
we got to fix
sir.
it. We got to, because if we continue to do this, at some point we're going to be out of water. And next thing you know, we're gonna have to play Nazi police with water and all this other stuff.
Well, and it's also, we want to get your water bill to be manageable.
Exactly. Now you got extra money for something else. Maybe you could upgrade the house, do some additions or whatever. That's or now you say, hey, let's go get that new TV. Whatever it is that you want to do. That they're trying to save you money here in the long run and ultimately fix the problem. You're going to have, and because generally speaking, when the issue's not leaking, it also works better too. Like it actually functions better.
The efficiency, yes, it's so much better.
You get better pressure in the shower.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing too.
Your money is going toward, as you said, that new TV versus just going down into the drain, into the sewer.
Absolutely. And the wastewater treatment plant folks get to work on it.
Yes, yes.
Which they're thankful. They got a lot of uses for it down there, too.
Can I just sort of summarize a little bit of
Yeah,
this?
I get a
Because
little. I need
think
Judy to
it's
reel me in a
important.
little bit.
I think it's important to realize that, first of all, the state of New Mexico has a 50-year water plan, which is sort of what we're working off of in many respects.
Sure, using that
for
as your
what-
guideline
yes.
for
And
I guess, a measuring stick.
What they're saying from the data that they've collected is that in the 50 years that the New Mexico will have 25% less water than we have now. And I think that's something critical to think about, because it's also true that from their data, again, that 60% of the household or the water that residents use is inside the house. And so I personally, through this, have learned so many silly little things that I really never thought about. I haven't gotten away from letting the water run while I brushed my teeth. But, I mean, that's the hardest thing. But, doing the dishes, the amount of laundry I do, I can put, more in the machine, those kinds of things. We water at 2 o'clock in the morning. Fortunately, we've got an automatic system for the grass.
And you can get those at a
it's the
hardware store
coolest-
pretty cheap.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And that's the coolest part of the day, where you're going to conserve a lot of
Most benefit.
of your water. And I think too that one of the things when I was asked to do this was I want to know how much water we still have as far as planning down the road for the number of new homes or new commercial property that we, would try to entice
More
to come
people
to
means
Roswell.
more use of resources.
And that's part of what I hope we get out of this. And I just think that the other thing that is so important is this has been the hottest year so far recorded here in New Mexico. I'm sure many places. And so that's what we need to recall when we're looking at this, because chances are it's not going to get much better at this point in time. So there are a lot of reasons to educate and to ask people to start conserving a little bit more and thinking about water security.
Yeah, it's really a problem that we have to tackle through multiple prongs, and this is one side of it. We, the consumer, need to do our part by, using more efficient appliances, by making efforts to use less water and things like that. And then the other side of it is the other, okay, how do we bring in more resources and things? Let's get the science people involved. And, and this is where we get into politics and all that. But, every year when we have an election cycle, there's these politicians saying, hey, we could use these different, hydrogenization and all this. I've heard folks come in and talk about there's ways we could really use water in many different ways here. And maybe that's some of the stuff we need to look at on top of this effort, it's number one thing, I think, that's going to solve it all. It's the cocktail of everything. Got a little something here to fix on this end. We got a little something to do to tighten up on this end. To get, and that big picture is what's going to solve these water issues. So I look at it as, yes, all people saying we just need to do. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, we also need to be doing this too. And that's where we need to look at this as one big thing and say, hey, I don't want to get to that point where we have a water problem. Let's deal with it now while we aware that we have water still to save and protect. You know what I mean? And so that's and I don't want to get because this is one of these issues that people get polarized on. I'm like, no, this isn't about these or ours or any of that nonsense. This is about your home, where you live, and we want to make sure it's as nice as humanly possible for not just your generation, but generations down the road here. And this is what we're talking about. And if you can think of it in that term, instead of who's trying to mess my day up, then we can get on board here and fix a problem here. So I just want to throw that caveat in, because I know
you're
the stuff,
exactly right.
the stuff we're talking about, people feel a kind of way on it. And
there are so many components of the water contingency plan.
Yeah.
And I mean, many components. And like you said, there's just not one, there's many.
Yeah.
And everybody does their little fair share. It will add up real quick. And our goal here in Roswell, in the city of Roswell, is to grow somewhat.
Yeah.
And as Judy said, do we have a plan for our growth?
we can't just start building things and see what shakes out here. We gotta, exactly.
Yeah, so it's an important task ahead of us.
And this is and again, this
it's
is
not
why,
just one of us; it's going to be all of us.
It's all of us.
We all go forward.
And this is why I always try to remind folks, you should be an active participant in your local government. Come to city council meetings. When they ask for volunteers on committees just like this one, get involved.
Get involved.
Do your part and see where you can do your help to get involved in these kinds of things. But
our meetings are the second Tuesday of every month at 4:00 at City Hall. Welcome to the public.
They are welcome to the public, and so if you'd like to come and hear and see what's going on here, and I imagine if you do want to contribute, they'll give you an opportunity if time permits and all that good stuff. But please get involved, please learn more, and then I would also recommend if you have questions and stuff, you have a representative. You have two city councilors that represent them. Don't hesitate to ask them some questions and see what they're that's what they're only they represent you, but they're also your source for information and things like that. They're representing you. So don't hesitate to reach out to your city councilor. If you're not sure which one's yours or which ones are yours, go to the city website and you can find out where you live and what ward and who your two representatives are there. So good deal. Is there any information that we wanted to mention this morning here that we need to get a chance to, Judy, or anything we want to cover?
Just one thing. I'm in hopes that after we finish this plan and council approves it, that we can do some kind of water summit with the public. I'd really like to see that happen, where we can bring in some resources from the state. And Chantel obviously is the expert for the city, but I think we need to educate, answer questions, and see what concerns there are out there. So hopefully in the next few months, we'll start thinking about that.
Right. When we get to that point, let me know. And I definitely think we can help get that part going.
Because you think you know water, but you really don't.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, that's just it. Everybody knows this much about their thing, unless you're,
That's it.
Life is literally one stroll down the Facebook. You're not an expert on everything. All of a sudden, you're just not. Sorry.
Right.
Come learn. Come see what's going on. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. I really do appreciate it. Mend up quick here. She's got a little hobble on going on here. So
I fell out my back door.
You what?
Fell out my back door.
Yeah, you can race her down after hers here, but
no.
Yeah, she's gonna. But
she's got some serious back issues.
Yeah, so cut her some slack today. She'll get there, but it's just taking a little.
It takes a while.
Yeah,
okay.
So. But thank you guys.
So we're riding the elevator down the stairs.
And we do have a meeting today.
Okay.
It's
that's right. It is Tuesday, right? It is that. This is that to be that.
It is 4:00 today. And,
City Hall.
City Hall, and anybody wants to come, be there.
Come listen. Come hear what's going on.
Let's talk about it. You know, we want to. We're real serious about this, and we're taking big steps.
And you know what? If you come in with good ideas, the people that's the beauty.
There's no bad ideas.
Exactly.
There's no bad ideas.
You come in and be like, "Hey, you know what? We didn't think of it from that angle. That's an excellent point. Yeah. Let's snuff it out and see what we can make of this."
Yes, we can only get better from here, and I think we're going to. So
well, and if we were all experts at everything, you know what I mean? That's and we kind of think city government or any government, you kind of they're experts. Like no, we're just people, just like you trying to figure it out too.
We're trying to. Address the issue at hand, and you're right. Anybody can come in with a brilliant ideas, and I guarantee you they're out there, and we will entertain anything. We're open, and we have a good decorum there.
Yeah.
And Judy runs a good tight shop there. We do great.
Yeah.
Chantel brings us a lot of value. We have excellent members there that are doing a great job.
Yeah.
So.
And like I said, we appreciate everyone because it's a lot of people volunteering their time to do this stuff. Ain't no one getting paid and rich and doing all this stuff. This is stuff that people that care about their
We're
community.
Passionate. Yes,
that's what it's about. And so, if you care about the community, which I think all of us do in our own little ways, shapes, or forms, do your part to get more involved and help out here. So, but thank you guys, and of course, go to the city website if you want to read more and learn a little bit more here and stuff. So, but thank you guys. Don't work too hard and stay warm. I know that's easier said than done today.
You bet. Thank you for the time this morning.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay.
All right, 7:57. Let's pause for local news and Maybe I can get McMahon. We'll see.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We have a traffic alert for Roswell drivers. The city says portions of roads on the west and southwest side of the Roswell Air Center will close beginning Wednesday and much of Thursday as the National Championship Air Races conducts its first course test flights. This means on Wednesday, starting at 12:30 p.m., traffic on West Hobson Road will close west of Sunset Road. Traffic on Old Y.O. Crossing Road will not be allowed north of Pierre Road. Traffic on Y.O. Road will also not be allowed west of Nashville Road. The National Championship Air Races are scheduled to be held in Roswell in September. The course test flights are not open to the public. A New Mexico neurosurgeon has lost his license to practice following multiple lawsuits. Mark Erasmus is facing $19 million in malpractice claims from patients. The Albuquerque Journal reports a district judge last month upheld an earlier conclusion by New Mexico's medical board that Erasmus exhibited, quote, manifest incapacity or incompetence that would make him unfit to continue practicing medicine. Insurance companies have already settled 26 malpractice claims involving Erasmus and Loveless Medical Center. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with a new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months. Now through January 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
All of which Hegseth has steadfastly denied. Looks like Southern California firefighters won't be getting much of a break from those fierce Santa Ana winds.
Winds are increasing in the Los Angeles area, and there could be gusts of 70 miles per hour. National Weather Service meteorologist Todd Hall in California also says they have some of the driest air right now.
These extreme critical fire weather conditions that are coming together, that any new starts could exacerbate the situation as far as the number of fires burning off across Southern California and the impact on resources.
Firefighting planes could be affected. Red flag warnings are already in effect, and firefighters could be dealing with very dangerous situations. I'm Julie Walker.
Today is day 2 of a nationwide campaign by citizens group Americans for Prosperity to prevent the 2017 Trump tax cuts from expiring at the end of this year. AFP Vice President Akash Shiguli says the campaign is multifaceted, designed to reach both taxpayers and members of Congress.
What we're doing is this nationwide campaign of more than 100 events across the country, door knocking and ads and events, in addition to working inside the Capitol, inside Washington, with lawmakers and their staffers so that the priorities are aligned and that message is going in both directions in a way that no one else other than AFP can do because of our presence in the grassroots and in Washington.
Americans for Prosperity is seeking grassroots support nationwide to help preserve the Trump cuts. More information can be found on the website protectprosperity.com. Wall Street, the Dow 98 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley. Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Reports that Israel and Hamas are inching closer to a ceasefire hostage release deal. The BBC's Lucy Williamson in Jerusalem.
What's changed, I think, is less the deal itself and more the wider context and the pressures on both sides from the incoming US President Donald Trump. Israel is also very keen to keep the support of Donald Trump. Hamas is under quite heavy pressure from the changes that have happened in the region. I mean, its own leadership has been largely eroded, and also its allies around the region, from Hezbollah to Syria to Iran, have been weakened over the past few months.
A Philippine security official says China is, in his words, pushing us to the wall with growing aggression in the disputed South China Sea. He warns that all options are on the table for Manila's response. Philippine officials say a large Chinese Coast Guard ship patrolled the hotly disputed Scarborough Shoal and moved very close to the Philippines. Townhall.com. One popular coffee chain says, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
If you want to hang out or use the restroom at Starbucks, you're going to have to buy something. Starbucks on Monday said it was reversing a long-standing policy that invited everyone into its stores. A new code of conduct to be posted in all company-owned North American stores also bans discrimination or harassment, consumption of outside alcohol, smoking, vaping, drug use, and panhandling. The company says the new rules are designed to help prioritize paying customers. Keith Peters reporting.
A former central banker strongly hinting at a run for Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney tells Jon Stewart's The Daily Show he's an outsider with the economic experience that Canada needs as it faces an economic crisis. And Carney says a change in Liberal leadership will give his Liberal Party a fighting chance in the next election, the Liberals trailing the Conservatives badly in the polls. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. Oh,
called it.
There
The
it is.
Deuce.
The Deuce of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Yeah, that bell. Sean was on a different mic and Bill was on the twos. He was on the bell, but the bell was a little tired there. So that's all right. It rang in for second time's a charm there. But welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. It's a bit chilly out here this morning, as it has been. I mean, good news is we're creeping up a little warmer, but then we're going to drop again. So like today we're going to be like 48. So you're like, a little warmer. And then tomorrow we're going to hit 50, and you're like, oh, all right. And then like the next day it's going to be like 54, and you're like, ooh. And then Friday you're going to be like, ooh, 60s. This is kind of nice again. This is what I'm talking about. And then the weekend's going to come, and you're like, oh, 50s on Saturday. Okay, that's not so bad. And then Sunday we're talking like 35 with snow and rain chances and all kinds of stuff. Enjoy the progression here, and by Friday that's going to be that's your high water mark sweet spot. Run around in your shorts, and then we're back to this. So that's the weather in a nutshell. So but it is 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. We do have a busy hour here, and so Dr. Powell and Eastern New Mexico University Roswell are going to schedule to join us a little later on this hour, but we do want to. We had a bit of a unexpected event happen over the weekend here, with State Representative Jared Hembry having to step down from his position as state rep, and which means we have to get a new representative here pretty darn quick.
Yeah, much like it was when Representative Hembry was appointed. This will be done quickly, and they'll have about 3 days to get the Santa Fe.
Yeah, it's kind of a deja vu from last year.
The whole thing. It's a down to the wire rush.
For folks that now, first off, thank you to the Hembry, Jared, and his family for
wonderful
service, job. and I know that he really, really wants to serve, and God's got different plans at the moment. That's all we're going to go with. So, but for folks that maybe don't remember last year, kind of remind, how's the process work when we have an elected official step down from that post at this level as a state representative? What's the process now to get a representative in that seat?
Then what happens at that point is the state asks the county commission to appoint an individual to fulfill the term of that person until
and since his district resides in Chaves County,
it's fully within Chaves County.
That means it's our the Chaves County Commission solely. Now, if he covered
multiple counties, then each county gets to put a name forth, and then the governor chooses. In a situation like this, where it's only one county commission sending a name forward, it's generally an appointment. It's a done deal once they send the name. I mean,
gotcha.
The governor has to concur. There's some.
But generally, it's best to behoove you to get with the other counties and say, hey, let's collectively come up with a name. Therefore, we're not having the governor pick it for us.
If it's multiple counties, and we saw that a couple of years ago.
Sure.
2 out of 3 counties selected one individual. Another county selected a third individual or a second individual. The governor chose the individual had support of one county, and then when the election came, the other gentleman won the seat back. So it can be pretty convoluted. In this case, that's not the case.
Good deal. We got one county commission that's going to
county commission that will make the appointment, and of course, like I say, we're against the wire on this. So we have a scheduled county commission meeting on Thursday, and so by law we can add an item to the agenda within at least 24 hours notice. So that's the way we did this. On Monday, yesterday, we sent out an amended agenda, and it has an additional item on the agenda. So we didn't have to put together a special meeting, didn't have to. Well, we're still concerned about making sure that we get the word out and letting everyone know, but the advertisement portion of it is a little bit different.
So it just kind of worked out where we can line it up with the regular commission meeting.
I did go ahead to, just to make sure that we go above and beyond. We posted on our website yesterday. We posted on Facebook yesterday. I'm here this morning. We will have a newspaper article or legal ad coming out tomorrow explaining what the process is. So I know you're kind of short on time, and I certainly don't want to cut into.
No, we're good. But yeah, I do want to. I want to make sure that everybody understands what's going on here and how this happens here.
So Chaves County Board of Commissioners will appoint someone.
Okay.
As last time, I believe we had 8 or 9 individuals when Mr. Hembry was appointed. I think that we're going to be in about the same shape. I've heard, I think, 11 different names. Thus far, I've only got 3 actual packets submitted to me. So officially, there's only 3, but I believe that's going to grow today. So if you're interested in being considered for an appointment to House seat, District 59 seat. Chaves County Board of Commissioners asked that you provide a letter of interest.
You have to live in the district. That's one
Right.
of the.
So we need your full name, address, and your qualifications by the close of business on Wednesday. And we went as long as I possibly could. We went to close of business on Wednesday, 5 o'clock. Hopefully everyone will have it in sooner than that, because
Right.
I will prepare a packet, a printed packet, that they can actually see your resume, your letters of support that you send in to us, anything like that. But you've got to be 21 years old.
Okay.
You have to live in the district. And it's my understanding you have to be a registered voter. Now, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican.
That's where I was curious, because it was a
independent.
Republican seat. I didn't know by
No.
statute or whatever we have to replace it with a Republican,
No.
or it
Nope.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Democrat, Republican, Independent, declined to state anything, but you do, is my understanding.
Now I'm
going to
take a stab. The Republican Party saying, "Hey, that's our seat. We want." They're going to have a say in that.
I'm
They're going to
certain
be
they are.
talking to the commission.
The
yeah.
political strategists are probably working overtime.
Yeah, I'm sure
right
there'll
now.
be some representatives from both bending ears
Right.
of commissioners on that meeting
Right.
on Thursday. So
And so
yeah.
that's the first thing. Letter of interest, full name, address, your qualifications. And some people like to send in a resume. Others want it to be more personable, so they do more of a written letter saying,
Okay.
this is what I've done and this is the result, kind of things like that. It's entirely up to the individual.
Sure.
But when we have the meeting on Wednesday, we're going to have our regular commission meeting, and it's just one of the agenda items at the end, because it may take a while, depending on how many people there are. It could take quite a while.
That's what I was curious about, and because that's where I was wondering, once, everyone, all the names are submitted. I mean, is it literally like a job interview process where the commission interviews these folks?
A public job interview process.
Yeah, that's
to make
kinda,
it even worse. You're not just in a room being nervous, but you're in front of everybody being nervous, because
Gotcha.
this will be broadcast on Facebook.
So it's kind of like the school, The Apprentice show, if you remember that.
Right.
A little
Everybody's
like that.
there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So first thing that'll happen is I will provide a list of the names and addresses to the clerk, who will verify that they actually are in the district, because
Okay.
we certainly don't want to decide we're going to appoint Mike, and then all of a sudden we find out Mike lives in Dexter.
Right,
That's not that's not going to help anything.
That's for make sure you are legally qualified to serve in the position.
And I'm pretty confident, Mike. No hard feelings, but I'm pretty confident you're not in the running. So
yeah,
I'll
pretty
just
sure.
let you know now.
I'm saying there's a chance. No, there's no chance. And you probably don't want me in that position either.
Seriously, anyone who's interested in applying that is in the district will be considered. So once the clerk reads the list of names and lets them know that they're eligible, we will know how many applicants there are, because obviously they closed business on Wednesday.
Mhm.
I will know that there are 10 or
There's
6 or
there's a
however
cutoff,
many.
a shutdown,
So
and yeah.
I'll have all those names. We'll do a lot where they'll draw a number, and I'm number 1, I'm number
Okay.
6, and
So
that's the order that you go.
everything's random as far
in
as,
front of the county commission.
Very good.
And so, in fact, one of the first people I heard from that's interested in this, I haven't received his packet yet. He was lucky enough to draw number 1 last time, so he didn't have anything to. He just really was under the gun.
Sure.
And so,
of course, that could be good or bad. I mean,
he's
it could
hoping
go either
this
way.
time that he gets a different
Little
number.
time to prepare. But there's also, because you talk to strategy and all that, 100 people say, but at the same point, you also get to set the bar where everyone else has to be. So,
Right.
So there is, people
There's
look at that
pros
as an
and cons
advantage
to
and
everything.
disadvantage.
Yeah. So at that point, once they draw their numbers, the first person goes up, and each of the interested persons, each of the potential nominees, will speak for 3 to 5 minutes to the Board of Commissioners, laying out the reasons that they're seeking the appointment. And the chairman will ask, is there any support for this person? Maybe allow a short comment period. That's going to be entirely up to the chairman. And we're in an unusual situation at Chaves County. We have an interim chairman because both the chairman and the vice chairman left last month. So the first order of business after we've determined a quorum is we have to elect the chairman and the vice chairman. So I don't even know who it is. So we'll have to kind of play that by ear, but it'll be
We'll wing it.
up to them to decide how much breadth. I'm not sure I said that right. That's a difficult word to say on the radio. How much latitude they will
There
give
you go.
people.
Let's Porky Pig it, Brett latitude.
I like that. they'll decide, how much discussion they want. Just a show of hands. There's 8 people here. Pick 2 that come up and say something. It's going to be entirely up to the commissioner or anyone here for, anyone here, and it'll be up to them to decide exactly how they want the public to interact, because they're interviewing the individual. It's nice to know that they have support of our community, but at the same time, those are not the people we're interviewing. They are interviewing the person that they want to send to Santa Fe. So,
and I know this is a weird statement, but it's not a popularity contest. And
at this point, it's
it
not.
Really isn't.
It's
We want the most qualified person.
Trying to sift through things quickly and determine who's the most qualified. And with about 5 minutes for each of them to lay out what they intend to do, that's difficult.
And here's the thing: is this person is going to really be behind the 8 ball when they get there. So,
absolutely.
So we want to make sure we got a person that can kind of handle the on the fly becoming a representative, because they're literally going to go there and get everything done in half the time that everyone else had that opportunity.
A good example of that, Jared Hembry.
Yeah,
he went up with
the man who was good
about 3 days to learn, and he was effective.
Yeah,
you would expect deer in the headlights for the entire session. And he immediately immersed himself. He immediately learned things. He had missed the pre-training or whatever they call it in Santa Fe. He just had to go right in and do it. Now, he did have some people took him by the shoulder, and said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a little help."
He got some mentoring.
but it takes a certain individual to jump into a highly volatile situation like that and to be effective, even to get it done.
So
is
there is
one thing, but to actually do something worthwhile.
Yeah. So that's something the commission really has to take into account here. It's like, not only do we need the right person, but we need the right person right now.
Right.
And so that's a variable here.
Yeah. And so they'll let them speak. They'll ask to some degree, for public comment. Probably not much, like I say, because again, that's not who they're interviewing. They're interviewing this person.
Sure.
And so we want to know what you...
But if everyone's booing this guy, that might be a red flag.
What stuff you're made of, you know, and how you're going to represent and what your goals are and those kind of things. So,
why are you here?
And then there'll be some discussion amongst the commissioners. They'll probably narrow down the field. That's how they did it last time.
Sure.
Again, the chairman is in charge of this.
Well, imagine they got to do like
process.
the Miss America process. It's like, we got to get it down to the final 5 or whatever that number is.
And I think last time, they went one by one with the commissioners and said, who would you like to see go to the next round?
Gotcha.
That's a bad term, but
then the average would.
But then they went down through, and I think they ended up with 3 names last time. And then they interacted with them, asked them some more questions, asked them to expand on this portion of what you brought to the table, what you said you wanted to do. And once they did that, then they went down the row again and narrowed it down until they, I believe they did that twice last time. Again, this time it's going to be up to the chairman to determine exactly the little nuances of the process, but it'll be something very similar. But the portion that's important to know is if a person is interested, get your letter of interest. Tell us, I would like to be considered for the nomination. Full name, address, your qualifications, your credentials by close of business Wednesday the 15th. And don't send it to the county commissioners. You can if you want, but you need to send that to bill.williams@chaviscounty.gov because I'm the one that puts together the packets. If you send it to a commissioner and he doesn't get it sent forward, your packet won't be in front of the other commissioners.
Then you're out in the dark on this one. Yeah.
Once again, the email, and you can call 624-6600. Jessica will give you my email if you don't get it now, but it's pretty simple.
It's got to get to the county manager's office.
Yes, bill.williams@chaviscounty.gov by 5 o'clock, which is close of business on Wednesday the 15th. I hope people will get them in before that because I won't have to stay all night to prepare the packets.
Yeah, you kind of
won't have time on Thursday because we have a regular commission meeting.
Yeah, that starts at like 9 in the
morning.
morning or something. Yeah, it's early.
So yes, the commission meeting starts at 9. I'm estimating, and who knows how long a commission meeting is going to take.
This might be bring a lunch kind of meeting. It'll be a long one.
Between 10 and 10:30, I'm assuming we will be at that point where we will be preparing to start the interview process. Probably closer to 10:30. It's a very short, kind of boilerplate agenda this month.
Gotcha.
So that's going to go pretty quickly, but then we have to get into this, and
And then, of course, you can also hand deliver. I'm going to assume to your office before tomorrow.
You can hand deliver if you prefer, but I really prefer that you send it by email.
Okay.
That way, I don't.
It's all collective.
I don't have to scan it. I don't have to do all that because I need to maintain a permanent record of who applies.
And I understand people like, well, I hate computers and email, but unfortunately, the position you're applying for, if you're not savvy in these things, you can't do the job.
Yeah,
so.
you probably need to have at least a basic understanding.
Yeah.
And that's not the end of the world. If somebody brings it in
Sure.
to be handwritten and they don't have a way to do it,
Right.
that's fine. I'm
But
going to
be
adapt.
aware that
I'm going to.
But
and
the
same
job
thing.
you're trying to seek, you're going to have to be technical savvy a little
Don't
bit.
tell
Yeah.
everybody that you know to send a letter of support to Bill Williams because I do not have time to sift through 100
Sure.
letters and print each one off and put your packet together. That's not fair to the other applicants.
And-
If I've got 10
Yeah.
and I'm spending an inordinate amount of time printing off all of your stuff.
Put it this way: the
you know-
decision's going to be made in the commission floor.
Right.
It's going to be by those individuals sitting on the commission thing. Everything you're giving doesn't matter. You're not selling. I mean, if you want to give a packet to present to the commissioners is one thing, but at the end of the day, all you need to turn in is your name, your address, and you're qualified.
Qualifications.
And then you get to present your case on Thursday.
Right.
So don't present
And
your
so-
case now.
And a lot of people like to present letters of support. That's fine. But send your letter of support to the person who's requesting the nomination. Let them sift through them and decide,
Yeah.
I want to send 3 of them. I want to send the best 3, or I definitely want the one from this guy.
Maybe they don't want you representing them out there.
you know, because that's going to be the cleanest way for me to do it. The
Sure.
individuals asking to be nominated, you tell me what you want me to present to the commission. I will present it.
To be honest, to kind of help with the process, I would create a little packet that's basically a resume-like thing, however you want to present that, and turn it in that way. Letters of recommendation stuff, I would not turn that in. If you've got some, present them on Thursday. When you say, hey, I've got letters from this person that recommend me. If you'd like to look at them, here they are. If not, here they are. You know,
Well,
maybe
like I
that's
say,
the
there's
tactic.
a variety of ways that people do it, and you know, I don't want to tell them how to do it. If they provide letters of recommendation, I will present those
Sure.
to the commission.
But
if
I'm-
they bring them in and say, I've got these for you, someone will take them and hand them to the commissioners.
Like
it will work out. But
all I'm trying to say is you don't have to sell your argument in your application. You just
Right.
have to prove you're qualified.
Right.
Thursday's the day you make your case.
Yeah.
So save your making case for Thursday.
You know,
That's what I'm trying to say.
Your extemporaneous speaking skills are going to become very important because you've got 3 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes maximum, to get up there and set the hook and get them to say, I want to talk to this guy more. I want to ask him some questions.
Yeah.
I want to know more about you because you seem to be the guy that could fit with all there's a variety, a myriad of issues that they have to deal with in Santa Fe. It's not only the issues that we care about here in southeastern New Mexico, but they're going to be voting on things they've never even heard of, maybe in San Juan or Guadalupe County. Who knows what issues they have from those areas, and they're going to have to be able to adapt, and that's what the commissioners are looking for. They recognize the process can be very broad, very vast, but they want to make sure that the individual they appoint has our wants and needs for Chaves County in place, but still can adapt and assure that they vote the way that, you know, you have to understand that the Chaves County Board of Commissioners are the elected people. The people within our county voted them in. And so they are speaking for the county. Hopefully you voted in the people that think like you do, and they're going to be looking for the same things you're going to be looking for. And it's a very difficult situation. There's always somebody who says, well, I wish you'd picked my guy. Well, I'm sure you do. But same thing happens at elections when it's a landslide. This person got 90% and this person got 10, and I'm still mad because you didn't vote for me. Well, clearly the people wanted the person with 90%. And again, those are the decisions that the county commissioners are going to have to make.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be easy for them. Oh my goodness.
Well, and here's the thing too. I love that, we have 10 people or whatever that number is. It's fine. I want to see the same 10 people in 2 years when the election has actually happened.
Right.
Where are you at then? That's
Right.
where I want to see you. That's when that's where you should be showing up. So please, if you don't get selected here on Thursday, I hope if you're back in, when this seat's up for election again and throwing your hat in the ring, then that way the will of the people get to hear your case.
Well, I would assume that if someone was putting in a request to be considered for the appointment, and they had asked to be appointed before, I would, if I was doing it, I would put that in my resume. I've been here 3 times. I've run for this. I've done that. I'm involved with this.
Shows I'm committed.
And you know, I didn't just decide this morning because I wouldn't have to go through a full election process to ask you to give me a job. Because, and to call it a job is that's difficult. It is a job. It's a very difficult job.
Sure.
It's an unpaid job.
It's a thankless job. Yes.
And a thankless job.
But it is a great service to your community, and if you want to fix things, this is how you get involved.
And just one time real quick, because I know you're pressed for time, send your letter of interest. Tell us why you'd like to be nominated in a cover letter, or why you would like to be appointed. It's actually not a nomination, it's an appointment.
Gotcha.
Make sure that has your full name, address, qualifications, experience, all that stuff in there in the form of a resume, another letter, however you want to do it. Just make sure that we see something about you that they can refer to as you're talking.
They can go into the clerk's office and say, is this person qualified? Yes, they are. Yeah.
And get it to me by close of business tomorrow. I'm sorry for the short notice, but I mean, we're all under a very
This all went down over the weekend, really. It has happened quickly here.
And so I need those by January the 15th, 5 o'clock. If it comes in after 5 o'clock, I'm sorry. I've got to focus on getting everything ready.
Got to put a hard deadline on it.
So please get them to me. Hopefully everyone will start sending them in today. Like I say, I believe I have 3 actual packets as of this morning, but I may have 6 since you and I started talking. I don't know.
And this is it. The idea is to get. We want to. If you're interested, please get out there and get involved. You maybe do a little reading and see what you're getting into before you do it. But definitely, if you want to make a difference, please come be a part of this process. And who knows? This could this is your. Jared Hembry. He literally came in. He's an attorney that he volunteered to do this, and then he got elected. And unfortunately, he's unable to serve here. But this is. But he literally is the person. What we're creating on Thursday, Jared was a year ago.
and if we're as fortunate to find someone as good as Jared Hembry was, wow. Can you imagine doing that twice?
Yeah.
But Mr. Hembry was certainly a great choice. The commissioners picked him out of a large group. He was certainly a great choice, and I'm banking on the fact that they're going to do it again, but it's not an easy task, and I'm glad that I'm not the one that has to determine it.
Well, and you got to have good ingredients too, so I'm sure we'll have some of that. But
bill.williams@chaviscounty.gov or 624-6600, and they'll make sure you have the information.
Yeah, get that too, but you got to get it in before close of business tomorrow, which is 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock tomorrow. The meeting will be 9 a.m. Thursday morning in the commission chambers there. They're same bat channel, same bat time. It'll be part of the normal meeting. The normal agenda will take place first, and after all that, then we'll go into the process of selecting a new representative.
And I do want to say quickly that Chavis County is a place that has a bunch of highly qualified, caring individuals, and that when something like this happens, you see it because the number of people and the qualifications of people. I mean, it's not just some guy down the street that says, I think I'll try that. These are all good, high quality people that I've heard are willing to step forward and want to provide. So thank you, Chavis County.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This is a service.
Yeah.
This is not a award. This is a task we're asking.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. But Bill, thank you very much for coming in.
I'll see you Friday.
We'll see you Friday with the results, I guess. And that and everything else there too. So thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. All right, 8:31. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I think I don't know if it's Dr. Powell, but somebody from E&MU's here, so we'll chit-chat with them on the other side. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty nice for the next couple of days. It will stay cool. We have high pressure parked over the Four Corners. Sunshine today. Upper 40s to about 50 on the high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds drifting through, and chilly will be in the upper 20s. And then we're in the upper 40s for the high on Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine. We get a big boost on the daytime highs Thursday, about 60. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 34 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, President Dr. Sean Powell back with us. Good morning, Dr. Powell. Thank you for hanging out a little bit. We're a little bit late getting you on this morning here, but we appreciate you hanging out a little bit there.
Oh, y'all, we're doing important work, and really, my sympathies go out to Representative Embry, and I hope he's okay. Hope things work out for him well.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed working with him this past year and getting to know him a little bit, and the process will start over on Thursday.
Well, I have to say, we got to hit the ground running right after that, too, with the legislative session, which I'm going to guess, obviously it's a busy time for you, spring semester getting underway and all that going on, but at the same time, for you, this is probably you're kind of turning your attention to Santa Fe here for the next couple months.
Yes, there's lots of time that I spend up in Santa Fe during the session.
The spring semester is going to run itself. We got everybody doing things. You are kind of now it's for me to go and let's see what we can do to get some legislation for our college and for other colleges around the state.
Absolutely, that's what happens during this next couple of months. I'm up there about 3 days a week, and what you said, talking about financing for the college and the community colleges across the state, and then just higher education in general, things that come up. But our spring semester did start yesterday.
Yeah.
And enrollment is still ongoing.
This week. Yeah, this is the official last minute zone. If you're a procrastinator, you're in the procrastination zone. Classes are started. You've already missed a class maybe, depending. But you can still get it done, swap out or add or whatever you got to do through the rest of this week.
Well, and the 2 days off last week didn't help the registration because
timing is a little bad there. Last minute.
The advisors had lots of appointments set up Thursday and Friday last week, and they're
folks. It's going to happen here again in a month or two. And then here around October, November, Dr. Powell and I are going to be sitting just like this and say, you should register right now. Get it done now. That way you don't have to worry about it, because right now is, you're pulling your hair out, this is why we tell you to do that. So what? Maybe make a note as a lesson learned, and then if you're going to sign up for maybe a summer semester or fall semester, do it. Maybe not in August. Maybe do it in July or something a little earlier, or in the spring. So.
Well, the earlier you register, the more options you have.
Yes.
And I explain that to people on a regular basis because the number of students in a given class at a given time can fill up, and then you may have to take some other course that you weren't thinking about, and
or take it at a time that's not as convenient.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You're on target with that, and so the earlier you can get in and register, the better off it works out all the way for the students, the faculty, and the staff.
And so, if you are experiencing a little of that this week, that's my remedy. Is for the next semester, do it before everybody else, or do it when as soon as they open it up online, maybe within a day or two of that, be on there and doing it, and get that. Especially if you do have those classes like Dr. Powell's talking, you need a specific one to graduate, and it's only offered at a certain time. And guess what? There's 20 other people that also need that class. That's what we're talking about. So. But anyway, this is that week of that. So.
And yesterday I was over in student affairs, and there were many, many students that were lined up waiting to get with their advisors. Yeah. And again, the days last week took away from their ability to get those.
So it kind of made it
done.
a little bit more chaotic this week. So be patient if you're having to deal with some of that. The weather, it was kind of a perfect storm, pardon the pun, of causing some delays here.
Well, there was a little bit of snow last week, I understand.
Yeah, and you know how it works around here. We have snow, and we don't know what to do. So,
well, I'm just glad everybody stayed safe, and we just followed along with what the school district was doing as far as the closures and delayed openings.
Yeah, then that's generally that is the rule of thumb. You kind of the college generally will follow what the district does here on some. Once in a while, there's a few deviations, but. Because there is a few different logistics that the college work deals with that RSD does not. So you have to factor that in sometimes. But anyway, that's kind of and fortunately for the world and to be honest, in the modern world here, I'm going to guess even your classes still have an online element in some way, shape, or form. Well, you know what I mean? Like, so even if you couldn't have class today, you can probably still get assignments to your professor or any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we live in that world now where a snow day at college is not necessarily, a snow day per se.
Well, and that's what RASD did when I was communicating with the superintendent last week, and he said, we're going to go remote. And I said, okay, but we weren't in classes yet.
So there was no need to go remote
for us. But you're absolutely right about the piece with online portions of all classes. The syllabuses are online.
Yeah.
Most assignments are online. Obviously, there's some things that you can't do online. We're not going to train phlebotomy online.
Yeah, you can't figure it out. I mean, we're getting there. I mean, some of the tools and stuff in the college with virtual seeing and all that, I think there's going to be a time where you can say, you know what, we can do that at home now, but not there yet.
Maybe in the future.
That's right. But I wouldn't be surprised if technology at some point doesn't allow us to do that at some point here.
Could be.
You never know. But that being said, if you do have classes or change, or if you're, we always talk a little bit about, you don't necessarily have to pursue a degree to be going to college here. If you just want some personal enrichment, maybe you just want to take one class, maybe you're retired, or you're just looking, retiree that's saying, hey, I've always wanted to take a history class, or I've always wanted to maybe it's a physical education. I need to get active. I'm going to take an aerobics class or some kind of class out there. Or, I've always wanted to do art. I'm going to paint. I want to do ceramics. I want to do something like that. Take a class, and you can still do that this week and sign up and say, hey, yeah. And next thing you know, you've got a social circle, meet some new people, and oh, by the way, you're doing pottery and having fun, and next thing you know, you got a little bit of a social element in your life here. So college can offer that too. So.
And the age range again, 14 to 77 in the fall semester.
Absolutely, yeah. And so it's literally you have folks that are taking a second, third run at life doing this one to fresh out of school. We get all the above. All right. So. As far as Santa Fe, though, stuff, I do want to talk a little bit about what's for the next 2 months for you. What are some of your goals, things that you're hoping to kind of objectives coming out of this 60-day?
I think when we look at the time in Santa Fe this session, we'll be looking at compensation for faculty and staff.
Okay.
We'll be looking at the tuition rates, the opportunity scholarship, making sure that our capital projects are moving forward. We've gone through all of the processes with the higher education department for the summer projects, and so as we move forward this semester, we'll be having regular classes, but like you pointed out, there's going to be a lot of activity up in Santa Fe, and so we have several capital projects that we're looking at and wanting to make sure that we can moved forward.
So this is kind of also that time, like you were talking about, these capital outlay projects. So during the election cycle, when you asked to vote on these various bonds, and Dr. Powell and NIMI and various other institutions come on to talk about their various projects, this is kind of that time where you're submitting for the projects for some of these bonds down the road here, and that's kind of what we're talking about here, right?
So the ones the main one that we'll be tracking is the GEO bond that was supported here in Chavez County in November, and making sure that goes through. The way it's set up with the system right now in New Mexico, that project actually has to go to the legislature twice.
Oh,
and
really?
So it was on the list of approved projects from the 24 legislature. It was initially proposed in 2023. It goes to the 24 legislature for approval, gets on the list. The voters vote on it in November. And now it has to go back to the legislature in 25, and they have to approve the sale of the bond. That's really what the legislature is going to be looking at.
Is that a literally dotting of the I's, or is that not a guarantee here?
Well, I guess, again, nothing in politics is a total guarantee.
But I mean, is this generally housekeeping, or is this a contentious thing?
In my time here, it hasn't been the second time through, because the voters have approved these projects.
That's where I'm trying to. That's where I'm having my. It's like, wait a minute, the will of the people's already been done here. What are we doing, Harry? That's kind of. And the only thing I can think of is the project still relevant? Is that what they're trying to determine, or what? I didn't know.
They have to go back and just verify the projects and verify the sale of the bonds.
Just making sure no one's pulling a rope-a-dope, basically.
Right.
I guess. Okay. Right. But this is also the time too where you're kind of, or is that more done at a different level, or where you're in our next bond election, this is the project that we're going to be trying to pursue here and trying to get that approved and locked down now. Is that this time of year also, or is that a different time?
That's a different time.
Okay.
We did talk about we had a December board meeting, a January board meeting with our community college board, and we do have a new board member, by the way, Ginger Miller.
Welcome.
Stepped onto the board in District 1, and so we appreciate her being there. But our community college board had a meeting last week, and we were looking at our projects for the 2026 GEO bond, if you can believe that, because we have to send that to HEB this summer.
This isn't stuff you just think up overnight. There's a process to this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at the project list and determining the cost of potential projects, and then we'll make a selection. But it has to be in Santa Fe by May.
Gotcha. And so in May, that's when Santa Fe says, yeah, that's the good one, or no, pick something else. Kind of thing.
And then, it goes to Santa Fe in May, and then we go to several hearings, and then it's a process.
And then they finally say, yeah, that'll be what you can use the bond for. Yes. And then, by the way, after they approve it, we're going to double check to make sure if it's still the bond.
Right.
But yet, look at the budget in Santa Fe and ask if they've got theirs balanced, and that's another story. But it's always a do as I say, not as I do. And then the feds come in. Wait a minute, that balance got to be budget. Don't worry about our budget. This is the hypocrisy that is government, but that's what we deal with.
So we'll put the projects forward.
Sure. Dr. Powell's like, yep, no comment.
And we appreciate the support of all the legislature
Absolutely.
And the higher education department.
Absolutely here. But like you said, it is going to be busy 2 months here for yourself as they go through here. And hopefully, at the end of the 60-day, there's hopefully maybe seeing a little bit of compensation increase for employees. And like we said, some more ways to bring down tuition in providing and making community colleges across the state affordable for all students.
Well, in the colleges and universities, I should say, across the state work together, and we put together joint priorities for the legislative session. And most of that is dedicated to making campuses more open to more students, making sure that students have everything they need to be successful. We know that there's much more to attending college than just tuition and fees, so the cost of attendance, also making sure the campuses are safe, and so safety and security is another topic on our joint priorities this go around.
And it's a tricky balance, just like anything else. How do you balance life and happiness with security and freedoms? And I mean, that's the balls we juggle at every university on how to do this stuff. So it's but they continue to do that kind of stuff here. We got a few more minutes. I know I'm jumping back and forth here, but like I said, we're sign up for things right now. But if you're missing out on this spring semester, we've got won't there be some of the shortened courses and all that stuff coming up here that actually now's the time to maybe start thinking about signing up for some of those things.
There are some courses listed for the 8-week semester. And so if you're not going to be able to start with us this week and you want to look at something 6 or 7 weeks from now, that would be the time to do it.
And obviously not the whole curriculum's not offered that way, but there are certain ones. Your best resource, as it is every time, go to the website, roswell.enmu.edu. You can see the entire course catalog, every single course that's offered at the college, including those 8-week compacted classes. It's not lacking content, just compacted for time, which means they're shorter, yes, but as a student, you're going to have a busy workload in that short period of time. So with less time means less time for everything. Less time to get your assignments done, less time to do. So think about those variables before you sign up for these classes and think, does it work in your life? And it does. Amazing. Let's do it. But if not, maybe you should wait to the summer or the fall and take a full semester class. Same class, but a little slower paced. Right. About half the time here. So, but please, and of course, don't forget the summer semester. I'm going to say here, about March? We're going to probably start opening up for summer registration here and all that.
Fall, yes.
Summer and fall at the same time here, and so you can get that jump in those summer classes and take it. Now, again, they don't offer the full curriculum that they do in the fall and spring, but there is a lot of classes that you can get knocked out in that summer months, and a lot of people do take the summer off, so it is a little quieter. It's a little bit more calmer environment if you're going out to the college during the summer.
And just, I think the other piece to this all, in addition to the education that's going on, is obviously our interactions with the National Championship Air Races. They're going to be here in May. And
I think they're out there setting some course stuff right now, aren't they? Doing a little bit of work out there?
As it's my understanding, there's a small contingent that's looking at the pylons and doing some work right now.
I think I saw some online about that.
And then the pilots that are going to qualify for the new courses will be here in May, and we'll be having them on campus doing some training and qualification work. And then, of course, the races in September. So just a lot of things going on and getting ready to be successful.
Not a bad time to get in the aviation maintenance program at Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Just saying.
There's a big need, as you know, for aviation maintenance technicians.
But I'm just also saying here, by the end of your semester, you're going to have a lot of AMP folks in town checking things out, and a lot of people to talk to, a lot of people to pick brains about, and because I'm sure with all the pilots come their mechanics and everybody else here in May. So you're going to see a lot of people that know a thing or two about the thing you're training for right now.
Well, and the Navy is going to be here in a couple of weeks also, and I think they're going to be here for at least 2 months and maybe 3 to do their undergraduate.
They can train to be
training.
AMP too, but the commitment's slightly different. And you might be doing it on the carrier of an aircraft carrier, where you got about this much space to do the same thing.
But lots of aviation going on.
I used to give when I was in the Air Force. I was a weapons troop. I loaded bombs on aircraft. That was my job. I was just pull back curtain. Generally speaking, not for bombers, but for fighter aircraft, we work in a crew of 3. You have your one person, which is your in charge. The 2 person, which is generally in charge of the munition and the bomb rack, or the bomb rack, not the munition. And then the 3 person, which is in charge of the munition and drives the little unit that loads the actual munition onto the aircraft and all that. So in the Air Force, we have a jammer that does all that. In the United States Navy, They also load in threes, and they do all that. But because of the flight deck, they don't get a jammer to drive around. They got to hand load that stuff up. So they'll have like a little cart, but they got to get 4 guys and strap, to lift a 2,000-pound bomb up to the bomb rack, and like where I got my. So we always like to give Navy a hard time about that.
That's right.
But yeah, you're humping in the Navy on that. Sorry, I got sidetracked. It's just one of those things. But you get all that so you can do all that, or maybe sign up for a college class and not have to worry about some of those kinds of things. But anyway, please visit the website roswell.nmu.edu to learn about everything we talked about here. If you have questions, don't forget this is that week. If you want to change or add or drop classes, you got your grace period this week. And be a little patient because of the weather last week. There was 2 days where a lot of this stuff gets done. It didn't get done, so now everyone's trying to scramble to get it done today. So it's a little bit hectic this week, but we'll all get through it. Just navigate through it here. So. Is there anything we missed, Dr. Powell?
No, I think you covered it all, and I appreciate the chance to be here again.
And thank you for hanging out a little bit here. We had to, because of the circumstances, we had to kind of shift things around, so we do appreciate it.
Well, and I would just encourage anyone who's interested to serve as a representative, to really think about this in the next few hours, because they want to have that material tomorrow by 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you got end of day tomorrow to get your application turned in.
And then you got to show up Thursday. So, this is going to be quite the deal where somebody's going to have about 3 days to be selected and then go through the process, because the session starts on Tuesday.
Yeah, you're going to literally be thrown to the wolves on this one. And of course, good news is, I'm sure our other representatives are going to be very aware of that, and they're going to help you navigate. You know what I mean? That's just kind of, how we do around here. So I imagine your other representatives and senators will probably, help you get settled in and get going out there, since you're kind of behind the 8 ball, or whoever gets selected here on Thursday.
Absolutely. So. One other thing I did want to mention, we do have a Martin Luther King Jr. observation coming up on Monday. It'll be at 10 o'clock at the ITC Commons.
Hopefully weather will be permitting.
and hopefully we'll have
I'm hearing a little
weather.
tell of some snow on Monday, but we'll see.
Something about 30 degrees on Sunday.
Sunday, Monday, it'd get a little dicey. We'll see.
Yeah. But no, appreciate the chance to be here. And again, Martin Luther King Jr. Day observation, ITC Commons, 10 o'clock, the 20th on Monday. Please come out and support this event.
Yeah, it's if you've never been in years past, make this one your first one. Come out. I think you'll really, it's more than a day off on Monday for most. There is a reason we celebrate it. I highly recommend you come out, and if not this one, another MLK. I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 others around town. Celebrate and educate. That's what it's
absolutely
about. Good deal.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Anytime, and thank you, Dr. Powell. We'll see you next time, if not sooner here.
Sure.
So. All right, it is 8:54. Let's pause for news, sports, and maybe some Red Apple market report. Well, no more Cowboys reports. Sorry, folks. I'm not bitter. I am not. I'm really not. I'm happy. So. Anyway, here's your weather. We'll be back.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We have a traffic alert for Roswell drivers. The city says portions of roads on the west and southwest side of the Roswell Air Center will close beginning Wednesday and much of Thursday as the National Championship Air Races conducts its first course test flights. This means on Wednesday, starting at 12:30 p.m., traffic on West Hobson Road will close west of Sunset Road. Traffic on Old Y.O. Crossing Road will not be allowed north of Pierre Road. Traffic on Y.O. Road will also not be allowed west of Nashville Road. The National Championship Air Races are scheduled to be held in Roswell in September. The course test flights are not open to the public. A New Mexico neurosurgeon has lost his license to practice following multiple lawsuits. Mark Erasmus is facing $19 million in malpractice claims from patients. The Albuquerque Journal reports a district judge last month upheld an earlier conclusion by New Mexico's medical board that Erasmus exhibited, quote, manifest incapacity or incompetence that would make him unfit to continue practicing medicine. Insurance companies have already settled 26 malpractice claims involving Erasmus and Loveless Medical Center. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report, part 2 of the Chavez County rivalry between Goddard and Roswell will take place tonight, starting with the girls' game. That begins at 5:30, followed by the guys. Now, for the Roswell girls, the Coyotes are really on a slide right now. They lost to Goddard last week, and then over the weekend fell to Mayfield on Friday by a score of 41-30, and then lost to Las Cruces at home on Saturday by a score of 64-40. Roswell is now 11-5, having lost 3 straight. Las Cruces, by the way, was 9-4 after that game, and then Mayfield was also 10-3. So these aren't slouches of teams that they were losing to. Meanwhile, Goddard took on Chaparral over the weekend on Saturday, won 60-22. Carmen Grotto with 16 points. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty nice for the next couple of days. It will stay cool. We have high pressure parked over the Four Corners. Sunshine today. Upper 40s to about 50 on the high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds drifting through, and chilly will be in the upper 20s, and then we're in the upper 40s for the high on Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine. We get a big boost on the daytime highs Thursday, about 60. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished mixed yesterday. The Dow and S&P 500 climbed higher for the session, but the tech-heavy NASDAQ composite sold off. Investors have been pivoting away from major tech stocks, and yesterday, Palantir, NVIDIA, Micron, Apple all finished lower. Those big names in tech have been part of the recent bull run, and investors bought up shares of non-tech stocks like Caterpillar, JP Morgan, and United Health. Spiking bond yields have put stocks under pressure recently, and yesterday the benchmark U.S. 10-year Treasury yield touched its highest level since November of 2023. That coming after yields similarly spiked on Friday following stronger than expected jobs data for December. In economic data, today we'll get information tied to wholesale inflation with the December PPI. The December NFIB Small Business Optimism Index also due today, and the Fed's Beige Book, or Summary of Business Conditions, will be published. Look for bank stocks, including Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan Chase to report corporate results tomorrow, while Morgan Stanley and Bank of America will share earnings results on Thursday. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
This is Judge Janine Pirro with an important message. A mom and her son were being followed by a man in a parking lot. As he approached their car, she pulled out her Byrna launcher, and the sight of it was enough to make him flee. Byrna gives you the power to protect your family without lethal force. No permits, no background checks, just peace of mind. Visit Byrna.com and use code Janine for 10% off. Remember, Byrna isn't legal in New York City or Yonkers. Stay safe. Stay prepared with Byrna.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Texas would shake up the Pentagon while Democrat Jack Reed calls allegations against the nominee extremely alarming. And then several protesters chimed in, managing to interrupt the proceedings a few times. Congressman Michael Waltz, chosen by President-elect Trump for National Security Advisor, testifying for Hegseth.
I can't imagine having a more capable partner in my position as National Security Advisor. Pete is a man of family, of faith, and he's committed to making our country strong again.
For his part, Hegseth calls himself a change agent, vowing to foster what he terms a warrior culture at the Pentagon. Addressing military personnel, officers, and enlisted, quoting Hegseth, "Thank you for figuratively and literally having my back. I pledge to do the same for you." Former special counsel Jack Smith claims that his team stood up for the rule of law as it investigated allegations that President-elect Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election. Overnight, the Justice Department released Smith's report, which Mr. Trump dismisses as bogus and Smith as deranged. The prosecutor who investigated Hunter Biden is defending his work.
Special counsel in the Hunter Biden cases, David Weiss, says his probes were the culmination of thorough, impartial investigations, not partisan politics. And he's criticizing President Biden for pardoning his son and, in his words, maligning officials involved with his prosecution. Weiss and his team filed gun and tax charges against the younger Biden that resulted in felony convictions, subsequently wiped away by presidential pardon. Weiss says Biden's criticism undermines the very foundation of the justice system. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The Dow's up 125. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The political upheaval in South Korea may be coming to a head as impeachment proceedings against President Yoon advance.
The first hearing is expected to conclude quickly in Yoon Suk-yeol's absence. If the impeachment is upheld, he will be removed from office, triggering a snap presidential election within 60 days. The president also faces a criminal investigation for alleged insurrection and abuse of power, both related to his martial law decree. A police official stressed the priority was to prevent casualties or bloodshed in the event of a confrontation with President Yoon's supporters or his security staff.
The BBC's Shaima Halil. Vietnam and Russia have inked an agreement to boost cooperation on nuclear energy. Happened during the Russian Prime Minister's two-day visit to Hanoi. The Southeast Asian country has been trying to revive its nuclear energy plans since it shelved building 2 nuclear power plants back in 2016. News and analysis at townhall.com. Former NATO Supreme Allied Commander James Stavridis said Sunday he doesn't think President-elect Donald Trump's desire to acquire Greenland is crazy.
In fact, Stavridis said he thinks Greenland is a strategic gold mine for the United States. During a radio interview, he said, quote, "It's not a crazy idea. We could do an awful lot in terms of business, investment, box out the Russians, box out the Chinese, and work very closely with Greenland." He added, "It's geographically very important. It's full of strategic minerals, rare earth, probably a lot of gold. It's got a lot of natural resources. It doesn't have to become the 51st state, but it can certainly be an economic objective for us." Bernie Bennett reporting.
The IRS distributing roughly $2.4 billion to taxpayers who didn't receive their COVID stimulus payments. By the end of January, roughly 1 million taxpayers will receive special payments of up to $1,400. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy news
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM.
Show you how it's done. Finesse that bad boy.
All you were missing there was the shooter Gavin 2 gun.
You go in, he goes in.
Yeah.
You can't be so. You gotta give it a little love.
It needs a little wrist action.
That's right, a little.
Yeah. Gotta get a little.
It's nice. A little tap.
Yeah, that bell is finished.
Yes.
Anyway, happy hour number 3. Happy
Indeed.
Tuesday. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Still Chile out there.
Tis Chile. Sun is shining, so it should warm up at least a little bit.
Yeah. I'm thinking whatever snow's left will be gone today.
Yeah.
I think by the time whatever's... Because it's mostly gone, but like around like my garage, there's a few patches where the sun doesn't hit so often, and so maybe that'll finally.
Well, and then of course every parking lot has the obligatory snow mountains.
Oh, the pile, yeah.
Yeah, the big piles you find all over the place. I'm surprised more kids don't go tobogganing down parking lot snow piles. Like, I know it's not a soft landing down there, but you think if any area is rife for play.
I remember as a young lad, we didn't toboggan down them.
No.
We played King of the Mountain.
Okay, yeah.
And if you know that game, it's a little violent.
It's got other names.
I've always called it King of the Mountain.
We'll go with King of the Mountain.
That's the name I've always... Yeah, I've heard other names, but that's the name we went with. And basically, yeah, you get up to the top and then see how long you can stay there before someone throws your butt down.
King of the castle. King of the castle. That's a Borat reference.
But yeah, we used to do that in, like the shopping center parking lot.
And those always get cutthroat too, because you're like, if you ever watched the show Guts as a kid,
Guts, that kind of rings a bell.
It was probably you were more a young adult when the show was on.
Yeah,
but it was basically like American Gladiators, but for kids.
Yeah, kind of vaguely. It was a Nickelodeon thing, right?
And
it was like a creamy thing between Double Dare and like Extreme Challenge kind of thing. Yeah.
And like to the end, like your trophy was a glowing piece of the aggro crag, which I always wanted. The aggro crag was this final challenge. It was this big mountain you had to climb. And while you're climbing, you're on a harness, obviously. But these kids are just like grabbing like vests of other kids and just throwing them off the mountain. Like, this is horrific. If this was Everest, that would be very uncalled for.
Not cool, dude.
Not right, man.
But yeah, I never watched that show, but yeah, that sounds about right.
That was King of the Mountain growing up. Was you wanted to get to the top of that snow pile by any means necessary.
Yeah, that was kind of
sweep the leg if I have to.
Yep. I remember it was kind of fun too when they come to plow our street.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in a cul-de-sac.
Right.
And so when they come to plow our streets, they would kind of go, but they would actually plow out the whole cul-de-sac because they had to because of the driveways. There was cars, so you can't just like make the creamy path and they had to make the whole cul-de-sac. But when they did that, and that's where also the cul-de-sac was also the location for our street hockey derbies and big games and everything else. And it was nice because of the cul-de-sacs. We didn't have to play the Wayne's World car.
Nice.
We had to do any of that. And the neighbors kind of knew that if you did park your car in the cul-de-sac, it's fair game that thing's boards, man.
Right.
You will. There might be a kid get checked into your car. That's how it works.
How this dent get into my car? Tommy!
But during the snow, when they plowed the streets, we just had an arena because basically now I got a 3-foot board around the entire, with the exception of the driveways, the cul-de-sac here. And then of course there's still left a creamy icy sheen on there.
That's the third time you've said creamy in this break. You need to stop.
I need some ice cream.
It hit me weird. Like he said creamy again. That's odd. That's the third time now it's been said.
It's just so dreamy to say creamy.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing headphones, all right? It's my ear a little different.
But anyway, we had boards.
Yeah.
And it was nice because then you could just launch. And it was fun because we were kids. So you'd literally launch from 3 feet out just to go into the pile of snow.
Right.
And it just made hockey so much fun. Only thing that really stunk about that was we used these street hockey balls. We didn't use pucks. We had the Milek balls.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in, they were supposed to be temperature, like there was different color, I know this sounds so bad out of context, different color balls depending on the temperature.
Right.
And yes, the blue one was for cold weather.
Of course.
And
It's
an
also
orange,
a little smaller.
Right. The orange one was for hot weather. And there was a pink one that was for like moderate temperatures. Right. Creamy middle.
That's 4. You only get one more. I'll cut the cable. Take us right off the air.
We'll do lunch.
Straight into a rerun.
We'll do lunch and I'll have cream of mushroom soup. But anyway, we only had we had the blue, but it didn't and so we had the orange.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens to the orange ball in ice cold weather?
It gets a little harder.
It turns into this just rock.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get hit by this bad boy, it sucks.
Yeah.
And even with all the coats and the gear on, it's still just. And plus, it didn't travel right. It bounced. It didn't. It was hard to get a clean shot with it.
I'm surprised you don't get to a point where you slap shot it and just shatters.
Well, that's just it. That was kind of what we it didn't. We did crack a few.
Yeah.
I've had a few crack hitting me. Had a few helmets crack when I got hit by one. Like I had one where because I played goalie street hockey, so I was kind of, and I had one hit the goalie mask right the forehead right above, and it literally split the mask in half. Yeah.
That was actually my next question because we're talking about playing in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So the equipment wasn't exactly up to par. Did you have like a Jason hockey mask?
Yes and no. Sometime I did. Sometime I didn't. Like the early generation, yes, we had street hockey. There was one name that was synonymous at that time with street hockey equipment, and it was Milek. Mylec. They made those colored balls I was talking about earlier, street sticks. They had the goalie pads. They had masks.
Right.
The first Milek masks were the Jason style mask. They evolved to a cage with the Jason style, where it's part plastic and then part cage. So I switched to that at some point.
Okay.
But there was a time in between, because I didn't really like the Jason mask, because is our guest here? Oh, good. I'm sitting here stalling for a reason. But it's hard to see out that mask sometimes. You can see out, but you can't see down.
Right. It gives you a real tunnel vision situation.
And but then but for a minute in between those masks, I used an ice hockey Cooper helmet with the cage that was the goalie cage that was actually illegal to use in most youth hockey because the way the eyes lit up were cut. It
didn't give you enough visibility?
Well, no, plenty of visibility. It didn't give you enough protection.
Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so there was it's really impossible, but in theory a puck could go in between there, but that's a 1 in a million shot.
Oh yeah. At that point, that kid's he's buying rounds.
Yeah, exactly. So, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes, and then shortly thereafter, we're going to have Lauren Dickinson joining us with the Roswell Refuge, give an update on what they've got going on over at the Refuge, and probably could use some help. They're always in need of things for the residents that call the refuge home. So we'll get that update from them or from Lauren. It's just her. It's not them. It's her. And then later on, we'll do the news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, and all that good stuff. But first, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty nice for the next couple of days. It will stay cool. We have high pressure parked over the Four Corners. Sunshine today. Upper 40s to about 50 on the high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds drifting through, and chilly will be in the upper 20s. And then we're in the upper 40s for the high on Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine. We get a big boost on the daytime highs Thursday, about 60. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 34 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Expected to hit upper 40s today. Sunny and a high of 48 expected. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Looking at an overnight low of 24 degrees with northwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny and a high of 50 expected. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, a little bit warmer, sunny, 56 for a high. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, we're going to hit the 60s. That'll be nice. Sunny, 64 for a high. And then it goes the other way after that. Saturday, sunny and 55. And then Saturday, sunny and 55. Saturday night into Sunday, and then into Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. We're looking at chances of rain, snow, all that good stuff. For Saturday night, a 30% chance of rain and snow, and then changing over to all snow, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 22. Sunday, we're looking at a 20% chance of snow, partly cloudy, and a high of 35. 20% chance of snow showers Sunday night with an overnight low of 15. And then a 20% chance of snow on Monday with partly cloudy skies and a high of 31. So we'll see what happens. I don't know anything about accumulations or anything. I did see yesterday on the KOB news, I think it was, they were talking about snow, and they kind of did a map of snow totals, what they're thinking as of yesterday for next week. And I think Roswell was around that 1 to 2 inch mark is what I was, if I remember seeing it. But that was, you know how New Mexico works. That was yesterday's report on Monday. This is a whole week later. That thing could change one way or the other. Could be it's gone. Could be now it's a foot. So who knows? But we'll see. But something to keep note of. All right, 9:18. Let's do this. Let's take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we will talk with Lauren from the Roswell Refuge on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
A snoring partner is more than a rough night's sleep for you. It could lead to some serious problems. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. Snoring, stopping breathing, and gasping for air in the middle of the night aren't just a pain for you. It could be a sign of sleep apnea, which can result in a lot more problems for both of you. Luckily, we can help. With our revolutionary oral appliance, you and your partner can breathe easier and get a better night's sleep.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
Sign up today for the 3rd annual Artesia 4-H fundraising shoot. The Freedom Shoot Red, White, and Youth is Saturday, January 18th at the Eddy County Shooting Range and features a 100-round sporting clay course. This year also includes an archery course. Gun boards, raffles, door prizes, and lunch is provided. For more information or to sign up, call 575-513-0144. Support the Artesia 4-H and sign up today for the Freedom Shoot, January 18th.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with a new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices. So come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Are you ready to succeed? Earn your FFA certification through ENMU Roswell's Aviation Maintenance Technology Program. ENMU Roswell has the only FFA Part 147 airframe and power plant school in Southeast New Mexico. Receive commercial and general aviation training, hands-on training with operation aircraft, Boeing commercial experience, advanced composite repair training, and more. And ENMU Roswell offers in-state tuition for veterans too. Learn more about this exciting program on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Refuge, Lauren Dickinson back with us. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Keeping warm?
Yeah.
Keeping. I know. I am curious. How's the life at the refuge, at the home? Is the weather? Is that place holding up okay to the weather and everything?
It is. You know, we have been blessed. Shelter has been full.
Good. Well,
we've had
good
some
and bad.
people, yes, we've had some people get into their own housing.
Good.
So that is such a blessing.
That's the end game, is to get folks
Yes.
transitioned back into their own new lives, whatever that ends up to be after their time at the refuge here. So, but I know just over the time and things, you know, that building needs constant upkeep and maintenance and things. And I know when we hit extreme weathers, things like heating and air conditioning might come into play. So I was just making sure heat's working well and everything
you know,
is.
we've struggled with the heat, but I think Leslie is working on getting us some new units.
Okay.
And
I know we get folks that volunteer their time to come and do their stuff. So
and that's wonderful.
And please keep reaching out and checking in. Obviously, you know, because of the nature of what goes on there's a lot of privacy things, and so there's certain windows when you can and can't do things and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll do a background check there and make sure everything's good and
But anyway, we would love that. And even like if you handyman services and things like that, I know there's always things like a leaky faucet or a fence that needs mending or a door.
Maybe a toilet seat breaks.
Yeah, exactly. And so those kinds of services are very greatly appreciated.
They are.
If you can donate that time and effort to, you know, come in, you know, whenever, you know, as need basis or you know, a monthly visit to come and tighten up things or whatever.
If you have spare time, just call us.
One thing I do want to ask too, I know it's done in the past and we've talked about, and then COVID put a real damper on a lot of stuff, but the you know, each resident, they have their rooms, their own little homes and within the home, and those rooms need freshening up from time to time, decorating, updating, you know, something that doesn't look like a jail cell or a prison or decorated from something that your grandmother would have decorated in the 70s.
Yeah.
So people love to volunteer, and, you know, maybe they've been told to stop it at their own houses.
Yes.
It's like, all right,
come do a bedroom.
Yeah. So that's still available.
It is, absolutely.
And I would say even make it a fun thing. Maybe a group of friends want to say, hey, let's do an extreme makeover edition, our own thing.
And we've had some organizations in the past that have donated their time and material and, you know, got the money together to get the decorations and furniture. And that was amazing.
Yeah. And you don't realize those kind of efforts, what they do for the residents of the home. These are the kinds of things that's part of their lack of a better term, rehabilitation.
And
back
it's
to
used,
becoming back.
It's used 24/7. So you can imagine that, you know, kind of like a hotel, stuff has to be replaced.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, wear and tear is part of it.
Absolutely, bed posts break here and there, and light falls over, and mattress wears out after time. That's just what happens. And so those things do need to be replaced. And so if you'd like to maybe adopt a room I'd love to do that. You know, there's some rooms that are probably a little bit better shape that have been done more recently. There's probably some of them that are more in desperate need, but please keep you know, getting involved in that kind of stuff. Again, all of that kind of stuff. And to be honest, this is the kind of stuff where the funding and all that, like they get funding like from government and other resources for a lot of programs and things, which is great
We
and
do.
needed.
Yeah.
But where money gets tight is the day-to-day stuff.
Yes.
The food, the immediate needs of people, like the toiletries and bedding and towels and clothing.
Yes.
And stuff like
Deodorant and
yeah,
blankets.
the disposable needs, things that you have to
Yes,
replenish.
socks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even things like freezers and stoves and, because
Wear and tear.
they cook for themselves, they
Yes.
have their own kitchen, and so sometimes the stove goes or the microwave goes out.
Yes, it
and
does.
and unfortunately, these pieces of equipment get used way more than any stove in your own home or any. So the shelf life of them
Constantly.
aren't as long as the stove in your home. And so
Yeah.
you really need sometimes commercial grade stuff in there.
Yes.
But you all know as well as I do, a commercial grade stove is about 10 times more than the one that you put in your home.
It is.
And so that's not always an option.
No.
But this is the kind of stuff that really, that's where the community can help.
Yeah.
Yes, programs and all that
And
stuff.
outside funding
But
and
to keep the day-to-day stuff going, to make sure the
Yes.
home is in good shape, to make sure there's a bed for when someone is in need that they can can come and be at.
and we've been
that's what can
blessed by
help.
some really wonderful individuals. The Roswell Women's Club, they recently did a big drive for our hygiene goods.
Oh, great.
So we are stocked with shampoos and conditioners, and that's wonderful.
But don't think, even though they're good at the moment, that
Oh, yeah.
that ends,
There's other things that we
because
need.
every person that leaves when we'll call it
They take it
graduate.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll call it graduate. When they
Yeah.
graduate to their next phase in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take everything that to help them get
They
started.
do. The deodorant, the
bedding.
socks,
They
toothbrush.
get to shop in the thrift store for
Yeah.
if they need like small appliances or clothing or bedding or whatever
Yes.
that's in there and offer. So they get to establish where they're going next. So so that stuff needs to be replenished. So every time, it's not like these towels are being reused. You get towels, they're your towels to
Yeah.
keep. We need new towels to replace the towels we just gave
Blankets,
away.
yeah.
Same thing with blankets.
Yes.
Same thing with the shampoos and conditioners and soaps and
Yeah.
deodorants. One thing that if you do want to donate those kinds of things to the refuge, they do appreciate the travel size, and if you get those free and that's when to donate, fine. But if you're going to go out to purchase these things, grab the family size shampoo bottles,
Yeah.
the soap kits and all that, because like we said, they take them with them. This isn't them staying in a hotel room for a night.
Yeah.
This is them living in there for a month or two, maybe longer, depending on needs and things like that. So this is temporary housing.
Yeah.
Up to 6 months in some cases.
Yes.
It just depends on
It is.
circumstances. and things.
Absolutely.
So we need things that will last 6 months.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the little toothpastes and the little soaps
Yeah.
don't cut it.
No.
Now, please, if
But
that's
we
what you
still-
have,
we
take
still
them.
love it.
Sometimes this is another
Yeah.
thing that nonprofits around town work with each other.
Yes, we do. We have some wonderful people that drop
And
stuff off
so,
to
like,
us.
residents may come to your refuge and they
Mm-hmm.
think, but then they'll say, hey, send them over to the Humane Society's one.
Yes.
They got some stuff, or send them over to
Yes.
one of the other thrift stores, and vice versa.
Yes.
So if you donate those travel things, you guys will probably end up giving to Harvest Ministries or one of
Yes,
the
we
homeless
definitely do.
that deal with homeless
Yes.
folks that they
Brief
can
encounters,
benefit more of those
Yes.
kinds of things. So
Yeah.
so please, if that's what you have, bring it, and it will be put good use.
It
If
will.
not directly at the refuge, then one of our other great
Yes.
organizations in our community.
Yes, we have some really great connections.
Yeah.
To help all the people in Roswell.
As far as needs right now, do you have a kind of a
Needs right
list
now.
or
Yes,
or
I was given a list.
Yes,
So
good.
deodorant, toothpaste, blankets, pillows, socks, and a wagon. I know
Okay.
this is a funny request, but when individuals are bringing in, like, say, their groceries, or even the girls that are bringing in a grocery order,
Sure.
we need a wagon.
Makes
to
sense.
Pull or
Yeah.
push it all the way to the back.
So something
That's
like
a- That's a big trip, bringing in groceries.
Yeah, because I know
Yeah.
because even when you have like 6
Yes.
bags on each
Yeah.
arm and you're trying
Yeah,
to
and imagine
then you
all the
gotta
gallons of milk and
and then by the way, you're 3 times wider than you were,
And
and
you
then you
have to
try to go through
unlock
the door and you're
doors
like,
and-
hold on, I gotta now I
Yes.
can't get to the door now. Hold on.
Yeah.
And so yes, I can.
so I was like, a wagon would be perfect.
absolutely. So maybe
Yeah.
even 2 because
Yeah,
you never
just
know.
something they could put all their groceries in,
Yeah.
take it to the back.
Yeah.
Be much easier.
Absolutely. So if you have a wagon around that's
Yes.
still in good shape,
Yeah.
or if you get a new one, please.
Or a cart.
yeah.
Something
Anything
like that
that's
that
got
could be
But it's got to be good enough wheels that can handle like driveways and sidewalks.
Yes, and that's what's happened is our wheels have fallen off.
Yeah, we don't want something that's just for like soft. Something that can handle a little off-roading. It doesn't have to be like big knobby tires.
No.
But something that can handle a little bit of sturdiness.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff they can always. Now, another thing I always like to tell folks too is that when it comes to donations and to like they can't buy candy and buy things like they can buy ingredients to make things, but here's the deal. These are kids here. There's and sometimes a candy bar does so if you'd like to donate sweets, things like that. Now they can make cakes and brownies, so if you want to donate sugar and all the stuff you need, but sometimes you just want like some M&Ms or a Reese's or a Kit Kat or Skittles or something. So believe it or not, getting those bags of candy or buying the little 6-pack of Hershey bars and all that kind of stuff, if you make those kind of donations direct, they can accept them. They can't go buy them on their own. They have, it's kind of like WIC, like certain things you're allowed to buy, certain things you aren't, and all that. But they can accept that as donations. So when it comes to food, if you do want to donate those things, trust me, those are very useful and very appreciated. And believe it or not, you're chipping away at healing these folks by candy bars, weirdly enough. That it's all part of the big
small
picture.
acts of kindness.
Yeah, it's showing people normalcy in life.
Or when the
again.
kids get home from school and hey, can I have a piece of candy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gifts, things like that. I mean, don't think of toys and stuff like that. These are things too, because like we said, kids are also in the home.
We do. We get a lot of birthdays.
And that's the thing too. They like to make life in the home as normal as possible, especially for the kids.
Yes.
And so they celebrate birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. These events are celebrated just like they are in your home. And unfortunately, we can't. There's not gifts and things. So people make donations of toys for boys, girls,
they do.
Young toddlers to teenage, all in between. And so they have a gift on their birthday, and they have a cake, and they have a birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah,
just a little something. It shows that we care.
So all those things. Another great thing is, and this is a big hit. If you're in the like beauty industry.
Yes,
whether it's
haircuts,
makeovers, facials, makeovers, things like that.
Practice.
Offering those services to these, most of them are ladies, not always, but most they're these mostly ladies that are in the home. Offering those chances for them to get the makeovers, to get this also instills confidence. It chips away at the armor that they've put up for themselves.
Makes
to
them feel
protect
good
themselves.
too.
They trust in humanity again. When they see people that they never met or didn't know do random acts of kindness, it at first they're like, why? And then at second they're like, I mean, people actually care, and people, and then the next thing you know, their humanity comes back, and that's what we're doing here. And so by you offering, hey, come through my dollar store and come shop for dresses, or come in and let's get a haircut and a facial and a manicure or pedicure or whatever. Let those things
and sometimes it's something small like that makes such a big impact.
Well, it gives them confidence, especially because not only are these folks transitioning from their old situation, getting away from their support system and everything. That's part of the power struggle. And when we talk about domestic violence, a lot of it's power and control. All of it's power and control. Yeah, and so they've broken away from that. A lot of these folks don't have the means to be on their own, and so this is what they're getting back. And so they lack self-esteem, they lack confidence, they lack empathy sometimes because of what they've been put through. And so they've got to get all this back. And this is all,
and it takes time.
Yeah, and this is what that's what we're doing here. And so trust me, by you doing these little things, you are, and I'm going to tell you, when you talk to these people years later, it's like, what was it? There was this lady who just gave me a hair, and I just didn't, and now that kind of made me say, you know what, I'm going to be okay. And it's little things like that that do that. So please help experience that by, if you offer that, or same with food and
stuff.
Or
even at a discounted rate too. I mean, We'll figure out a way
We'll
to...
figure, because I get it. We're business. You got to eat too and all that.
Absolutely.
But maybe we can help each other out on some of this stuff. But if you want to get involved, this is a great way to give back and help
please
out.
Contact us.
This is.
We would love to have you.
It is so much because you're creating success stories here.
Yes.
You're preventing.
And you're meeting some great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're ever so slowly making our October candlelight vigil that much smaller.
Yes.
That much smaller,
Yes.
where there's not as need for this kind
That's
of
right.
things. And so, one thing I do want to, before we talk about tickets and all that, is don't forget the Roswell Refuge. As I said, they help victims of domestic violence. They also help offenders and things.
We do.
One thing I want to make sure everyone knows, and you put this and write it down or keep it in your phones, if you do low tech or high tech, however you do it, the Roswell Refuge has a 24/7 crisis hotline.
We do.
It is for victims. It is for anyone that is got questions about a domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
Whether you yourself maybe are witnessing something and maybe you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Please call us.
Yeah, please call. They'll be happy to. If you yourself are a victim of domestic violence in any way, shape, or form, that hotline is there for you to talk. And the thing I want to stress is, when it comes to that hotline, you're the boss. Yeah. You, the caller, are the one in control.
Yeah. And it's confidential too, so that's wonderful.
It's absolutely confidential. But if you just want to talk, the person on the other side will be there to listen.
Yes, they will.
If you're ready to maybe make a change,
call
the
us.
person on the other side is ready to help you do that. Or somewhere in between those two things.
Give you some guidance if
That's
you're
what
willing
it's
to listen.
there for.
Yeah.
And conversely, maybe you're an abuser, or maybe you're seeing yourself go down that path, and you're like, I want to fix this.
Yeah.
Call that hotline. We have that side too, because this is the thing, and we say this every time. And I know I'm talking a lot here, but I just want to get this message out: is domestic violence is a reciprocal thing.
Yeah.
Odds are the people that are abusers were probably abused as children, or in another point in their life.
Yes, it's very cyclic.
And I'm not trying to justify or excuse abusers, because you don't. But at the same time, if you're raised a certain way and all you know is what you know,
there are interventions. We can get you some help. Relearn.
Maybe it's time to say, that's what we're saying is it's not, being naive of something is not excuse for being an abuser. It's if you
There's
know
no
it.
excuse for the ignorance.
Yeah. If it's you knowing it, not doing anything about it.
Well, my grandparents were like this. Well, my parents were like this.
Yeah,
those days are of the past. Well, they should be.
Sure.
Right? We all have to heal and move forward.
And that's where the world we're living in.
Take personal accountability.
So it's easy to judge an abuser.
It is.
But walk in that shoe for a minute and let's understand. And please understand, I'm not condoning, I'm not excusing for these things. All I'm saying is you don't know the whole story. People aren't always evil just to be evil. If they don't know anything better, they in their head this rationalizes correct for them.
Absolutely.
And just because you
bad tradition
have experienced different, you understand the difference. This person deep down doesn't.
Yeah.
They may say it, but deep down it's not registering. It's not sinking in. To me, to them deep down, this feels the way. This is the way. This is something in their brains clicking, and we need to fix that. And that's what's going on.
And they have to ask for help.
Yep.
Or be engaged enough to say, "Hey, I can make these changes. Let's do it together."
So please, so when you see folks that are recovering on that side, and there is an abuser program where they meet and everything else,
there is.
Celebrate these people too, because they are. And here's the thing: if you come of your own volition, it's like free or whatever. There's no cost.
Yeah.
There's nothing. If you were saying, and so even if you've never abused, but you were abused. And I would even say, you know what? If you're having the feelings,
we have an empowerment program.
Let's
too.
talk about it. Let's talk about that.
Yes,
and that's what the refuge does. So it's not just.
Yes,
I mean, it's
not
all
just
for that.
Victims. Yes.
There's one other aspect that I want to mention every time of refuge before we get in this too is the SANE program.
Yes.
And this is another. It's different from the refuge. It's its own thing, but it's partnered with the refuge. It umbrellas and works with it. And this is dealing with victims of sexual assault. This is first and foremost, they deal with the health and safety of the victim.
Yes.
Making sure they're medically taken care of, making sure they're not at health risk, emotionally, physically, and all of the above there. That's priority one. Priority two is if the victim wishes to pursue criminal matters against
gathering forensic.
this is what they do is they collect that evidence and they do it in a way that is much more because let's face it, this is an invasive thing. If we're talking rape or other sex, the evidence collecting can be a little
sensitive,
impersonal as well too. They do it in a way that helps the victim go through it, and really and
victims of all ages.
Yeah,
I mean,
to me, it's the volunteers and the people that work through this.
Yes,
they're not
Kimberly
all volunteers.
Hansen
Some
and
are
her
paid.
staff are
They do such great work, but these are the people we need to watch because of the type of work they deal with.
Oh,
it's easy to jade. It's easy to have your own
that
mental.
vicarious trauma. I mean,
It's easy to deteriorate your own mental health.
Yes.
So, I so appreciate them folks, but let's check in on them. Hopefully their families, I'm sure they have good support systems to make sure they are staying in where they need to be too. But anyway, this is all part of the Refuge umbrella. So when you make those donations of cakes and candy and toiletries and
what it's going towards.
Absolutely. Yes. Another way you can contribute is right now we got a raffle for Valentine's Day. This is an annual tradition at the Refuge, your Valentine's Day raffle.
We are introducing a couple raffles a year. We just did our Father's Day raffle for the grill. That went awesome.
That was almost a year ago, by the way. That was in June.
That was in June. Oh my gosh. Time is fleeting.
It's at least 6 months ago anyway.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay, it feels like yesterday.
I know.
So this year we're doing that Valentine's Day raffle. That play on words for that 70s dance. So I wanted to keep it in there.
Keep it in the theme.
Yeah. Graciously, Behringer's Blossom Shop has donated us a bouquet of flowers, some assorted chocolates.
Yeah.
You also get entered to win, and this is all together.
Yeah.
A $40 Texas Roadhouse gift certificate and a $50 Antigua gift certificate.
So it's like a multiple.
Yeah, you get like a
Valentine's
basket of
Day
goodies.
experience.
Yeah.
Because you get the flowers and accoutrement, but
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You get the two. You could do appetizers at Texas Roadhouse.
I was about to say
rolls,
you could.
Or drinks, whatever.
You could do the food crawl.
Yeah.
I was thinking make 2 nights out of it.
And
maybe.
they're close.
Yeah, that's true.
So
but have an Antigua
nights.
night and then have a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of food.
That is.
And so I say that's 2 dates. You got 2 dates out of it.
That is.
So.
Don't be gluttonous like I want to be.
Although I like where your head's at because I'm thinking,
I want to eat the chocolates all the way to Texas.
Let's go get a steak and a blossom down here, and then we head on down get some enchiladas.
Yes. Chips and salsa. We got a plan.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, $10 a ticket. We are going to announce the winner here on the radio with you.
Yes, here on the 12th.
On the 12th of February, which is my birthday, which is
so
funny.
Happy early birthday.
They said, well, you're going to be on the radio for your birthday. I said, well, that'll be just fine.
That's
fun.
Very nice.
So drawing will be held here.
Okay.
February 12th.
Tickets are only $10.
$10.
You can go to the Refuge office. There's the home.
And they're so cute.
Yeah, that's right. You got them
they're really cute.
But there is the home where the home is, but then there's the offices there.
Come to the office.
On if you go down Garden and it's like on the corner
College,
there.
1215 North Garden. You'll turn on the
I'm so bad with road names and things. I know where it's
south.
at. Yeah. But you can go there and get
Culligan.
tickets. That's also where the Refuge thrift store is. So if you're wanting to do a little shopping,
or if you need a restraining order,
or if you do need a restraining order and those
or
kinds
sign
of
up for groups.
Any business with the Refuge, you do it at the office.
Yes.
The home is really the public's not invited there.
Home.
Yeah, it's not a public place.
Yeah, that's why we take donations at our office and sort them. If someone has said, "Hey, I don't want this to go into the thrift store," it doesn't go then into the thrift store.
It'll go directly to the.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of the thrift store too. You can shop there and all the money that you spend in there goes back to programs and the things that we're talking about at the Refuge.
Yeah.
But you can donate those now. I'm assuming Kay's still holding the fort down for the Refuge thrift store here.
Yeah.
They are very limited on space.
They are. We've had to tell the public that we can't take clothing right now.
So that's why before you donate, I invite you to call the office. Ask for Kay Galindo. She's the keeper of the thrift store.
Yeah.
And talk to her because it may be like, hey, I love to have that bed. But can you hold on to it for a couple weeks
and if
until
we don't
can
have a
room?
means to get it, we don't have a truck and trailer.
Or maybe there's another way where we can do a direct thing where you have a resident or a person that's about to move in,
amazing
and they need a bed, and you're like, I got one. Well, maybe we can go and say, hey, can we get it directly shipped to her new home or their new home there? So whatever that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, please reach out to Kay if you've got those kind of logistics on stuff like that. But anyway, what do you know off the top of your head what the store hours are if you just want to come and
They
shop?
are 9 to 2.
9 to 2.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. You can come on in during that
Come
time.
see Stella.
And while you're there, make sure you get a raffle ticket or two.
Yes.
Here. They're only $10.
$10.
And regardless of what your Valentine's Day plans, this will keep you out of the doghouse.
For real. Wouldn't you like to say, look, babe, I won?
That's right.
What do you mean you won? Yeah.
Yeah. Or lie and just say, I thought of all these things
I'm
for
going to
you on
text
my
my
holiday.
ex-husband and be like, you really need to buy one of these for your girlfriend.
That's right. I think
she bought one for him for the grill.
I
so-
like it.
Yeah.
And again, at the end of the day, you're helping victims
Absolutely.
of domestic violence and sexual assault through
Yeah.
all of this stuff.
Anyone could benefit.
Yeah, and trust me, it's so cool to see the success stories, to see these, because these
It
folks,
is.
they
Oh,
come
my
in, they're
goodness.
broken, they don't have a place
Yeah.
to turn, they're feeling at wit's end, they're choiceless, they're you know they a lot of times they come in with children.
And then what do you do as a parent that you are this broken
Yes.
mess, so to speak?
How do I
going
pick
through
up
this,
the pieces?
And
Yeah.
you have children, you know?
And that's where it really hurts them.
Yeah.
Because if it was them by themselves, they're like, well, it's
That's
just
one
me.
thing.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, but when you got kids in tow,
Yes,
then
and
it
it affects
changes.
your kids
Yes, it's
and-
absolutely
yeah.
true. And so these when they do make a decision to break away from whatever quote unquote security
We
they
wanna
have
be
right
there to
now,
support them.
that's what we want to do.
Because
And
life's
so,
hard enough.
yeah. But
Oh,
literally,
gosh.
these kids, they come in with just the shirt, the clothing on their back,
Yeah.
and that's it. And so by you making these donations,
socks,
these towels,
no shoes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really, maybe
Yeah.
not even a coat. This time of year, underdressed.
Yes.
That's not uncommon. This is what they see on a
Leaving
regular
the house
basis.
because maybe all their stuff got destroyed in a fight.
Yeah,
and, you know,
exactly. This
yeah.
is, and I'm going to take a
And
stab.
that's not uncommon.
When extreme weather and extreme conditions like we've experiencing, cold,
Yeah.
flooding, and all that,
Ice.
they exasperate these domestic violence
They do.
situations. When life
do.
gets hard, everything gets hard,
Yes.
including tempers, including
Yes.
rational thinking,
Money.
including-
We've
yeah,
just
money.
spent all this money on
Yeah.
holidays
So
and yeah.
with the strain creates more abuse.
Yes.
So
Even if you want to discuss a safety plan, maybe you're not ready to leave,
Mhm.
but you need a safety plan for what if? What if it happens again? Call us.
Absolutely.
We'd
It's-
love to help give you a safety plan.
This is
or
the
walk-
beauty of it.
Walk through
is
some resources.
if they're alive, it's never too late.
That's right.
And this is it. And unfortunately,
And you may feel like you're stuck, but there is a way out.
exactly, no hole is too deep.
No.
If you can call,
And it may
then we
take
can
6
fix
to
it.
7 times. It may take 10.
Yep.
There's no judgment.
Well, and because you, and for folks that just trying to run out of time, but folks that you're building, the victims of domestic violence have figured out ways to navigate their life.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times it's putting up shells. It's hardening your own emotions.
Mhm.
It is, taking the beating, and especially with kids. If you got kids in tow, it's not uncommon for we're going to say the mother in this situation, taking the beating to keep the child from getting that.
Yes.
And doing those kinds of things, and after it happening on a regular basis, your brain, I'm not saying normalizes it, but that's what
Well,
it does.
it's rewired to think it's okay.
It's the weird, like if you've watched that movie Shawshank Redemption, they talk about being institutionalized. and all
Yes,
that.
it's-
In essence, that's a
Yes.
version of that is what's going on.
Yeah.
Is they don't know any better.
Yeah.
Okay, this
The
is
victim
not
mentality.
ideal situation, but it's the situation I know, and you know what?
Yes.
I have a roof
And
over
you're
my
in
head.
a
I
state
have-
of flight or fight, so you're looking at things of, okay.
Yeah.
Which typically a person isn't going to have those types of emotions, making a general, decision.
Absolutely.
But
And
when
it-
you're in those modes, everything is panic.
It's flight or flight.
Yeah.
You're absolutely and by nature,
Higher
domestic
stress.
violence situations are the power struggle and the power dichotomy.
are.
That balance.
The use of children, the use of money.
yeah.
the-
And the abuser generally will be in control of the money, control
finding
of the
power over
Yeah.
something.
convincing
anything.
their partner that they cannot live on their own without
Stripping
this
away
person.
their support.
And so
yes.
you're trying to get them to escape that mindset. And
Yes.
sometimes, like you said,
They can do it.
sometimes you can do it one phone call. Sometimes it takes 8.
That's
sometimes
okay.
it takes a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 6 months.
I'm hard-headed. I get it. Sometimes it takes a few
Yeah.
rounds.
And let's
to
face it,
understand.
I'm going to say that they were lured into situations and didn't come out the way they wanted to. So
Yeah.
trust, especially from someone they never met on the other side of a phone.
Yeah.
And They also are probably thinking, well, yeah, you think you can help me, but you don't know this person.
Mhm.
You don't know the lengths of which they will do and
Yes.
the lengths of which they will go. And so there's that back and forth. And so this is the struggle. This is the fight. This is what we're trying to get rid of. So anytime you're making those donations, anytime you go out in public and you see things that just don't seem right, don't ignore it. Talk to a manager. Talk to law enforcement. We're not asking you to get in there and step in between a fight, but tell people of authority, tell people that can get people in to say that. And please don't worry about it being your business or not business, because if it is and law enforcement will do their investigation.
They will, and they will tell you, hey, mind your business.
It was a big, what? It was a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
We're all good.
But do your due diligence.
But if you just saw the first clue that slipped out of this person that's been abusing this other person, and it kind of got in the public, and now they have a public forum to maybe make some awareness and
trust your gut.
Yeah, you just saved a life.
Yes.
Because unfortunately,
that feeling you get when you see it, that feeling typically is never
you know
wrong.
it. You know it. You don't seem right. It doesn't. It's like
ask.
That's not normal behavior between two loving people.
No.
That's just not how it goes.
No.
And, that's and you see it. And you see it. And I get it. Some people are very like, all right, but on this one, just alert someone. Let them deal with it. Let them sort it out.
Yeah.
And let them make sure that if it is nothing, then it's nothing. But if it's something, then we can get people
get you some
saved.
tools.
This is you gotta.
We don't have to wait till someone's court ordered or.
Well, and this is why domestic violence is where it is. It's lived in the shadows. It's
Very
the thing of which we
taboo.
don't speak. I'm going to say,
It's a private matter.
20, 30 years ago, we all knew someone. It's like, well, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
There's that
Yeah.
thing. And so that's where we're combating, and that's what we're coming out of. And so we're way behind the 8 ball on getting
Being
this
abused is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about from both perspectives.
Yes.
So please go out, reach out. Look for the Roswell Refuge on Facebook. If you want to get a hold, you can reach out there and say, hey, I want a raffle ticket. And someone reach out to you and get out. Or if you have any questions.
Our office number, 575-624-3222.
Yeah.
I'll give the crisis line, 575-627-8361.
Yep. And that is available 24/7, day or night.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever you want. Now, the office number is not. That's normal, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday business hours.
Yeah.
But if you do need restraining orders, if you do need any of that kind of stuff, come by the main office. If you'd like to shop the thrift store, or if you'd like to make donations, or if you're in need, please reach out, and they'd be happy to help you there.
Absolutely.
So, good deal.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Did we get it all? Anything?
I think so.
Excellent.
I think we got it all out.
Well, we'll see you here next time, and tell all the folks and everyone there. We're so thankful for what they do.
Thank you for letting us do it.
Here. They do great work over there, and it's so great to see. And to be honest, I always say when people, and I've been talking a lot about the New Year's resolutions, and if your resolution is to get more involved in your community,
we'd love to have you.
The refuge can have a few places that they can find that you can volunteer. Maybe it's some of the stuff we talked at the beginning, renovating a room or something like that.
Yeah.
But maybe it's something as simple as maybe sitting in on some of these sessions and things.
Yeah.
Maybe you...
Or you just want to donate.
Yeah,
you want to
donate. Yeah, you want to come and here's a bag of towels and clothing or whatever. All of that's needed. So thank you very much.
We appreciate you.
All right, it is 9:53. This morning's kind of zipped by, man.
It has.
Seemed like 6
I feel
o'clock.
like I just woke up.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I was like, when I just roll out of bed like a minute ago.
Alrighty, so what time do you want me to come the 12th?
Oh, we'll figure that out. Hold on here. Let me go to a commercial break and then we'll do that. All right, 9:54. Let's pause for news and a quick break before we get kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We have a traffic alert for Roswell drivers. The city says portions of roads on the west and southwest side of the Roswell Air Center will close beginning Wednesday and much of Thursday as the National Championship Air Races conducts its first course test flights. This means on Wednesday, starting at 12:30 p.m., traffic on West Hobson Road will close west of Sunset Road. Traffic on Old Y.O. Crossing Road will not be allowed north of Pierre Road. Traffic on Y.O. Road will also not be allowed west of Nashville Road. The National Championship Air Races are scheduled to be held in Roswell in September. The course test flights are not open to the public. A New Mexico neurosurgeon has lost his license to practice following multiple lawsuits. Mark Erasmus is facing $19 million in malpractice claims from patients. The Albuquerque Journal reports A district judge last month upheld an earlier conclusion by New Mexico's medical board that Erasmus exhibited, quote, manifest incapacity or incompetence that would make him unfit to continue practicing medicine. Insurance companies have already settled 26 malpractice claims involving Erasmus and Loveless Medical Center. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
California is known to have wildfires. Santa Ana winds, and I lived out there, so I know for a fact they are predictable. They're going to happen. So you've got to prepare for the worst case scenario. You know, they had a referendum on this very issue and building water reservoirs out there from 2014. That's 11 years ago. Not a single one of them were built. Well, why do they have $800,000 green street sweepers in Los Angeles? Why did they cut the LA Fire Department budget by $17.6 million just a number of months ago? Why did they want to even cut more money from this, knowing that they're not prepared?
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Donald J. Trump is officially the next president of the United States of America. While millions of Americans are rejoicing in the victory, thousands of others are still concerned about their savings. The unfortunate truth is, we still have $35 trillion in debt. The interest on that debt is now larger than our entire defense budget for the first time in history. Plus, the wars that started under Biden are still raging across the globe. So, what can you do to help protect your savings? Many Americans are already taking action by reaching out to the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering a free gold and silver kit to show you how precious metals like gold and silver could help you diversify your savings before it's too late. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD to get your copy free of charge. Plus, you could receive up to a 10% match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD. That's HannityGold.com. Paid for by Goldco.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness. They're
incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. That Do Right. Do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced, licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.